The following program is a collection of stooges talking about happenings in the sports world. It is meant to be comedic informative. The opinions expressed on this show do not necessarily reflect the beliefs of their peers, their boss, or ESPN. There may be some cuss words because that's how humans in the real world talk. If you are young, please seek permission before watching any further.
Hey.
What?
Let's go.
This show stinks, and the fact that you listen, we are very, very thankful for it.
McAfee on the line with a gorgeous assist.
The all-time leading tackler for the Green Bay Packers.
You ping.
Stutter! Damn it! Your friend tell a friend something nice could change their life. Hello, beautiful people, and welcome to our humble abode, the Thunderdome, on this NFL Week 2 kickoff Thursday, September 12th, 2024. This program starts now. Football is amazing as we enter a Week 3 for college football. That's going to have storylines continue to develop, big-time upsets in magical football on Saturday. Then Sunday's slate is going to be packed to the gills with greatness. Then Monday Night Football is going to close the door on another football weekend in fantastic fashion. But tonight on Prime, the Bills and Dolphins will do battle down in Miami as the Dolphins are 3-point favorites or 2.5-point favorites, depending upon which book you look at. ESPN bet it is currently 3-point favorites, and there are some stats coming out about what Josh Allen has been able to do against the Miami Dolphins. He is 11-2, I guess, in his run against the Miami Dolphins. Now, if we do recall, there was that freak-out moment after a Miami game where Josh threw the ball short. Offensive coordinator lost his mind on the camera. So that was one of the games. Other than that, Josh has had massive success against the Miami Dolphins. Does that change this evening, or do the Buffalo Bills now continue to run wild all over the AFC East? Can't wait to chat about it all. Kirk Herbstreit will join us in the next hour. He's obviously on the call this evening alongside Al Michaels and the entire Thursday Night Football crew, who we are massive fans of. We'll also be joined by Michael Lombardi in about 19 minutes or so. Former Paisan GM, now a man who has more football knowledge than any of us. Can't wait to hear his thoughts on how it's all going to go down, not only tonight, but throughout the entirety of the weekend. I'll be live from South Carolina's football field tomorrow. AJ Hawk will be live from this particular set, but we can't thank everybody enough for allowing us to do this for a living. The fact that we get to talk about football in football season right now makes every day waking up just a little bit brighter and a little bit better. Truly. Week 2 of the NFL season kicks off, and this hour is brought to you by Ram Truck.
Oh, hell yeah.
Hell yeah. Ram Trucks. We'll be announcing next week a massive contest that we're going to do throughout the entirety of the season around high school football and Ram Trucks. I think people are going to be pretty zeked up about it, and also we're going to be able to showcase what's happening on Friday Night Lights throughout the season. We can't wait for all of it. Thank you to Ram for joining the party and for fantastic trucks.
Unbelievable.
Best in the biz.
Great trucks.
You're talking about quick.
What?
Durable.
What?
Tough.
What?
Which I think is the same. Is durable and tough the same?
No, because you can be tough and then you can get hurt all the time.
Well, it's not just quick, too. It's also fast. We got 700 horsepower.
Powerful.
Yeah, it is.
Towing capacity.
Oh, shit. Don't need to think about getting stuck because your Ram trucks got it figured the fuck out. And that's what Ram's all about. We can't thank them enough for joining the party. Next week, though, whenever we announce this contest, I think everybody's going to be incredibly pumped about it. The Talks Table is here at Boston Connor, at Ty Schmidt. Con Man, Week 2, NFL is kicking off. Last weekend, you hit a $56,000 parlay.
Let's go.
What are your thoughts going into the week, and how big is the bet for this evening for you?
This evening, not so sure, because I don't know if you know this, but in Miami, it rains. And I was just taking a peek around the timing of it. You know, sometimes it can be 8 p.m., sometimes it can be earlier, sometimes you taught me it can be any time, really, when it comes to Miami.
Just a conversation piece. And my wife, who I love dearly, Samantha, every time she travels to Florida, you know, she comes back and she tells me, well, once again, because I'm in Florida, it rained. And I have to break it down to her. You know, the first couple times she did it, I'm like, oh, it's okay, maybe next time. Then I got to the point where it's like, hey, every time anybody goes to Florida, it rains. I don't want to be the bearer of bad news here, but that is a part of Florida life. I think it actually has to rain. Because the humidity in some parts of Florida. So there is a chance for any Miami anything. There's going to be rain, but it's quick. Quick,
Exactly.
That's right. Get it over with.
quick. But you're worried about it a little bit. It sounds like.
A little bit, just when we were coming to gambling, but of course because of that, just focusing more so on the running game. I believe Mostert is out tonight for the Dolphins. Achane. I'm going to say Achane because it sounds cooler. He's going to be a game time decision. Has to work out before the game starts. So looking at the backups for Miami, Jeff Wilson Jr., who got I think 5 carries last week, maybe 10. He is going to be a nice little addition. I believe he's close to the goal line too, running back for the Dolphins. And then their rookie, Jalen Wright from Tennessee. Guy can move. I mean, this is Miami Dolphins. They're built around speed, and he's got a lot of speed. So I'm thinking one of those two. And then, of course, you can always, feel safe betting on Josh Allen to rush in a touchdown, especially after last week.
Yeah, it feels like Josh Allen is, he knows without Stephon Diggs, without a lot of the players that have kind of built that, to Mitch Morris, the whole crew, it's kind of the next iteration of it. Josh Allen understands it is like, I don't want to say his team that it hasn't been, but this is your job to carry it through the next iteration of this Buffalo Bills team. Josh Allen seemingly put it on his back last week whenever he got after it. And I'm not talking about putting it on the back like Shan Sharp
of course,
on
sure.
IG Live. I'm talking about put it on his back and started making plays like Josh Allen always will and always has. Shout out to Unc, by the way.
Hi, baby, Unc.
Awesome.
Hey,
Oh, yeah.
Great performance.
And Michelle.
That's
You can use both of them.
Unc, hey.
What are you going to do?
You handled it perfectly on Nightcap. We're all very thankful that you did that instead of like a fake, it was hacked. Impossible. We all knew it was impossible as it was happening whenever the hack happens. But also, didn't see anything.
No.
Didn't see nothing.
Nope.
Put that
Heard
thing.
a lot.
It's a podcast.
Put that thing down.
It was a podcast.
It's audio only.
It was a podcast. And it might be voice actors. We don't know. We're not, he didn't say that was the case at all. But Unc, way to handle. And also, if it was a work, in wrestling, something could be a work, which is for business, a shoot, which is for personal and for real. If it was a work, they had 7 of the top 8 trends yesterday while Unc was doing his thing. And Ron the Truth Killings, showcasing his talent in the comments of the live, also a beautiful thing. But for Unc, I hope he is not embarrassed by the situation. Doesn't sound like he is.
No. Shouldn't be.
He should feel pretty good coming out of the entirety of that. And I don't think anybody's ever thought of that. Just an audio-only sex tape.
No.
I don't think anybody's ever thought of that.
Pretty good.
Seems like it's pretty good.
Smart.
Now, there was an out. We were trying to figure out an out for him. Right, weren't we? That was kind of what we were doing yesterday because he said it was hacked, and we all said, well, that's not possible. And then I guess the way it could be hacked, somebody logs into his account, and then they're the ones actually doing the deed.
Yeah.
So then, but you could hear him talk a little bit, but he could say, a lot of people sound like me. Everybody's trying to sound like me. I'm Shannon Sharp. This is the way this whole thing is. Instead, he comes out and says, yeah, you caught me.
Unc, get it in.
Sue me.
Yeah.
So we're
young and healthy.
Yeah, young and healthy.
Exactly.
Ocho questioned his cardiovascular ability because there was a little bit of breathing there at the end, and that's going to happen. They say that's one of the best workouts in time.
That's
right.
And Shannon Sharp is a fitness guru. Speaking of fitness guru, a man you can find on a Peloton. Okay, every single morning. He coached football for 36 years. He was I believe he was called the most Italian person at Italian Fest this week.
That means a lot.
Ladies and gentlemen, Chuck Bagoglio.
Yeah, coach.
Is that the award?
What's that?
The most Italian at the big Italian Fest. Is that what it was this week, this offseason?
Yeah.
I can't wait to go to that.
Yeah, it was incredible.
Same.
Where was it?
Lake Geneva.
What was it called?
Wisconsin. The National Italian Invitational Golf Tournament for Charities.
So, the National Italian Invitational. He was the Italian they were recognizing for the Italian celebration and the most Italian thing I've ever heard of in my life. What we would like to say to the Italians that run the National Italian Invitational, we'd love to do the program from up there next year.
Yeah.
Be great.
Need one day at the National Italian Invitational.
Be fun.
I'm coming in.
Whoa.
I'm coming in. I mean, I'll have full pinky rings on, 2 pinkies. I will come in there ready to go. If the goal is to be the most Italian, 0.01% Italian person, I'm coming in shining. Just know that that's the case. Probably jumpsuit if I had to guess.
Sure.
Probably
hell
jumpsuit
yeah.
if I had to guess.
The Commandadore Leone. Remember the
Bingo, the
Yeah,
boxer
sure.
from Milan.
I'll order them. I'll get everybody's suits.
Okay. All right. So we're going to the big Italian celebration on Lake Geneva. Cannot wait for that. Congrats to you. You've earned it. Obviously, Chuck is an incredible Thursday night football handicapper. The man was 11-4-1 or something last year. He started out 1-0 this past weekend as he picked the Chiefs, and he said, "What is it? It's just an apple a day makes my picks never go away." I don't know what what's the symbolism of the apple.
Yeah.
You
just
want a
that.
bite?
You hit it.
Ain't no thing.
You want a bite?
Anyways, we'll get your take throughout the entirety of the day. I can't wait to hear it. One half of the hammer, Dahn. Cowboys, AP. Tony's here. Tony, what's the money look like this evening from the public for the book? And did the book win week one? I don't remember if we got that information.
It was pretty even in week one. It was the favorites won money line. The favorites were 13-3, just winning the game straight up. Against the spread, the favorites were 9-7 after Monday night.
Sorry.
9-7 after Monday night. The over was the same, 9-7 as well. So it's pretty even in week one. Tonight, the percentage of the bets are on the Bills. The money is a little bit on. So I think it's 70%. I think is on the Bills, and then the money is 55% on the Dolphins. So more people are betting their tickets on the Bills, but the bigger money is coming in on the Dolphins.
And you can find it at 2.5 right now on ESPN Bet. I believe it's at 3 still.
Yeah,
I don't know if they've changed.
It's been bumping around all morning long. They give you that 3. And then everyone takes that 3 and immediately goes back down to 2.5.
And at 2.5, if You're a Dolphins fan, I think you're obviously much more excited. Let's go to one of those. One half of the hammer, Dahn, Cowboys, former ship painter. Gumpy, you've seemingly had a little pep in your step this morning. You think that although Josh Allen has absolutely demolished the dreams of Dolphins fans since he got into the league, you think tonight's a little bit different, Gumpy, it feels like?
Yeah, if you go back, remember the last time he played in the Heat in Miami early in the season, that was the time the Dolphins beat them. I think we're better than them this year. I think our roster's better. I think we can pound the rock. And I don't think their defense is as good as it has been in years past.
Okay, so you think Dolphins win tonight? You think cover 3 no matter what?
Absolutely. Love the Fins tonight.
Would you normally say that, though, because you're just a Dolphins mark and would be blindly optimistic?
I'm usually pretty honest about the Fins if I don't think they're going to win. I believe.
I believe that.
I'd believe.
Absolutely.
I would find that to be true.
I believe that.
However, on the other.
I believe that they
will win.
I believe that they will win.
I believe that they will win. I believe that they will win. I believe that they will win.
Not everybody thinks that, though. You said the bets are on who and the money's on what?
The bets are on the Bills. Money's on Dolphins.
What does that mean?
You could take it one way. You could take it as if the general public who make the smaller portion of the bets are on the Bills, and then the Sharks or the Whales or the Sharps or whatever are on the Dolphins tonight putting in their larger bets, or it's just some rich guy out there who doesn't know shit about putting a bunch of money on the Dolphins.
Okay, so as week 2 of the season kicks off with that particular breakdown analysis of the money and who's betting where, we'll keep track of that for the next 3 hours. I think there's some things that happened in NFL week 1 that we certainly need to chat about, like the replay system, okay? And Chuck Pagano, obviously the year that you stopped coaching, you went to the NFL, and you were around, I believe, the refs and the officiating. What is the advanced replay? Is that what they're calling this entire?
Replay assist, Pat.
Replay assist, and they're using it this year. There was a play actually in Seattle-Denver game that I didn't realize happened. I assume Seattle and Denver fans realized it happened, but I think as an NFL fan, we need to be very pumped about this taking place. Here's the situation as it unfolded in real time.
Nick's off-balance throw, and it's short. Looking for Sutton. And now a flag is thrown. Boy, what's
Fourth
the call
quarter
here in the backfield? Leonard Williams was there for Seattle.
Two-score game.
What a potentially massive call this is.
To me, the question is, did they hit Bo Nix in the head? And B, did they take more than a step and a half after he released the football on whether or not to call roughing the passer?
After replay assist, there's no foul for a personal foul.
Boom.
That's a huge deal.
Huge.
Now, obviously, that message is delivered in Seattle, so they're excited about that. If that message gets delivered in an away stadium, obviously it's not going to have the same reaction in-house. But watching along, I am very excited that they're using that because that's a 15-yarder in the fourth quarter, down 2 scores, momentum swing, everything. For them to just sit there for 20 seconds, it felt like 25 seconds, let the people upstairs or in New York kind of rewatch it and then go, nah, pick it up. Let's move forward. That's huge for the NFL and I think for football as a whole.
Great for the game. Competition committee. So that one you saw there, they voted and passed that hits to the head and neck of a passer, ineligible downfield on a pass play, late hits out of bound, and then grounding as it pertains to pressure, pocket, and line of scrimmage. That's what replay assist at this point in time can get involved with. So to your point, like you said, for something like this to happen and flip a game, cost somebody an opportunity at a playoff game or whatever, I think it's huge. And Coach Belichick, you have him on every week, and it's fascinating. I love listening to him. And every time we went to the owners' meetings, he always talked about every time when they talk about replay and what to review, he was like, Give us 2 challenges. We want them to give us another one, but let us replay, challenge anything. And they don't want to open up that Pandora's box to challenge everything because there's so much subjectivity with these officials. So they're starting to, this replay assist, replays expanding. Will it ever get to where Belichick wanted it to get to, where we could challenge everything? I don't know. Time will tell.
Hey, we've wanted this replay assist thing since we saw, I think since we saw football happen, but also with the XFL, how easy they were able to kind of overturn things. Yeah. The fact that the NFL is letting this happen, good for football, Ty. We've wanted this for a long time.
Yeah, without a doubt. And especially when they're talking the Hawkeye technology, and we thought that might be kind of like the next iteration of that. But then we saw how long that took. Like, this is exactly what needs to happen in these situations, especially in the fourth quarter. Like, you watch that play, and Pat, you always talk about how they put the replay up in the stadium immediately, and everyone in the stadium, and then most of the people who are watching the game live and on the internet, they're all in agreement, like, hey, that's not a penalty. Pretty easy, okay? Like, it should be a bang-bang decision. Let's overturn this and keep playing and move this on very quickly. So if we can have these situations where they don't have to take 3 to 4 minutes in the fourth quarter when it's seemingly a very obvious call, like, this is massive. And hopefully this is the kind of thing where the refs aren't, I don't know, are the refs the one asking for the replay assist?
I think they dropped in the ear
there. They just go right in?
They just get right in their ear.
Which is huge.
Huge. Because then the pride, ego of on-field refs isn't being, like, the head ref isn't looking at one of his refs and saying, I don't believe you, and then going, because that's bad.
Yeah.
Bad. That's not good for their relationship chemistry, team chemistry either. So for them just to jump in there and kind of fix it in real time. And also, there was a...
Oh, yeah.
So for them saying that's not a penalty, that's good for football.
Huge.
No head and neck.
Yeah, but it was like to a quarterback. I think last 5 years.
Yeah, forcible blow. Some could say, yeah, maybe, but I love it.
But the league is actually coming in and saying, nah, that's not a penalty. That is not a penalty. We're going to continue to play football right there. Like, that's a big deal.
Yeah.
Because that would have been called 10 times out of 10 in the past. It was called right there, and they weren't able to fix it. Now the league's able to come in and say, we're able to do that. It protects the refs on the field more than anybody else, I think. Because to your point, Ty, about what we've always chatted about, it's like we all know the right answer. But these refs aren't even allowed to look at the jump, not even allowed to know if they were right or wrong. If they're caught looking at the Jumbotron and reacting, they get fired or made fun of on the internet. So literally everybody's allowed to use 4K. Everybody's allowed to use super slow motion. Everybody's allowed to zoom in on the exact thing. But the refs on the field are only allowed to use their eyes in real time and have to make the decision. So it's always been like, well, the refs on the field don't want to get cucked by camera or by technology because you're kind of dunking on the on-field refs. They have a lot of pride too, and this is their profession, and yada, yada, yada. And we've always made the point, like, hey, let's make their lives better so that they're not getting their asses booed out of the building whenever they were wrong, but we could easily make it right for them. It helps their lives, it helps the game, it helps the quality, it helps the efficiency. I'm thankful that we were in a time where the NFL is like, yeah, let's go ahead and give it a go. And, the NFL is like the Titanic. So to turn left, which they should have done with the Titanic.
For sure.
They should have done
Try to tell
Never know with the glaciers.
Yeah, should have just turned left. But it's hard to necessarily just like steer things as quick as we all want it to be. This has been something like 3-4 years in the making. And now that we're finally doing it, it's like, thank God. Let's go ahead and do this. And let's expand this because I think it makes the on-field ref's life a lot better.
Yeah.
Hussey was reffing the Texans and the Colts game. And he was awesome. They were on field. There was an advanced assist thing happening. Crowd was getting antsy, booing, and he turns and goes, we were trying to figure out whether or not, like he explained the situation.
He actually apologized.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
It was awesome.
It was sweet. It was like he was a human, which is also something we've been asking for some time too. Like, hey, the white cap, that person is on a solo shot in front of 50 million people. There's not a lot of humans that get solo shots representing a sport, a league, everything in front of that many humans, except for our head ref. Need that ref to have a little
pizzazz.
Need to have a little confidence, moxie, pizzazz, sauce, everything like that. And you're representing the sport. You're not just representing that game. You're representing the entire sport. So the reason why Hockey League was loved, Gene Steratore was loved, Cleats loved, Huss loved, it's because like little moxie, little sauce, little confidence, and also explaining what just happened.
Yeah.
I think good. Let's not get too chatty.
Sure.
Of course not.
You know, we don't need this to be
I don't like that he apologized, but
I appreciate that there was a little transparency.
it was great.
It was
his
great.
fault. He's doing his job.
No, I agree, but like I like that
fans.
he's at least treating these fans as humans,
Yeah.
as opposed to just being a robot. I think we're getting to a good spot. And now, granted, what he said was not great for the Colts, so he got booed. But at halftime, I saw him. He and I know each other, and I was like, "Hey, I love that you just explained that shit pretty efficiently and quickly. I mean, you got your ass booed, but like I appreciate that you did that. I think it's good. I think we're in a good spot with the refs right now. The illegal formation obviously is the whole thing that they're trying to stop, but like everything else feels good.
They were way too technical. First game of the year. All those 1, 2, 3 right in a row against the Ravens at Chiefs, way too technical. It's got to be clearly the helmet. Like they say, it's got to break the belt line of the center, right?
They're trying to nip that shit in the bud right now, right?
There was a memo sent out.
Yes, exactly.
Okay,
And that's not the refs,
after
right?
that
That's coming from higher.
After that happens, there's a memo set out and said, okay, look, that helmet's got to be clearly behind the butt of the center.
After this first,
because they were way too technical, and the ones that they called when they go back and they slow it down and they show a still aside right down the yard line, they're breaking the belt. So they were like, okay, look, they made it a point of emphasis. It's too much. It's too technical. This is where we're going to draw the line. And how many did you see?
So hopefully this week, not nearly as many.
Yeah, especially tonight.
But to be clear to the NFL, everybody that plays tackle, and there are rookie tackles out there that are starting, and I hope they do very well. But tackles are like a kicker position, a quarterback position, normally play for pretty long, like that's one of one there.
Mm-hmm.
They know when it's no longer the point of emphasis either. So, like, I think trying to nip it in the bud early was a good idea, good concept. But these veteran tackles, I mean, every time they are going to see how far you just natural lineup. Let me drag my foot right here. Just that is a game within a game. You hear AQ Shipley talking about no, and then you hear JJ Walker and these guys are cheating. Feels like that's been since the beginning of time. That is going to be how it goes. I don't think anybody wants to see the flags for illegal formation, but I would like to commend the refs for having a great week one in my eyes. And I think the instant replay and the explanation that's happening, and hopefully, we don't get a ref that just looks confused about what they're saying, doesn't work the microphone. What number? Because you're representing the entire sport at that exact time. I think they're doing great. Joining us now, ladies and gentlemen, is a man who's been around the sport his entire life. Former general manager, multiple-time Super Bowl champion. He's a TED talker, an author, a speaker, a podcast host, a live show host, an email newsletter founder, and author. Ladies and gentlemen, Michael Lombardi.
How we doing?
Hey,
how are things, guys?
Hey, we were just complimenting the refs for a great week one. Now, the illegal formation, we were all sick of it, but we feel like that was probably above their heads, and they were probably told to keep an eye out on it. We need to set a standard here for the rest of the year. We can't let this shit happen. But whenever we're talking about what's the assist?
Replay assist.
Replay assist and how efficient it was, how quick it was.
Yeah.
I heard Huss explain a situation to the crowd. It's like, I think the refs are in a good spot, Lombo, which players, coaches, and front office people pay attention to much more than anybody. I know fans hate refs and things like that when things don't go well. You should see coaches that get their asses fired because a couple of those are players that lose their job because of a call that's made. It's like, I think the refs getting better is good for all parties, Lombo.
Yeah, no doubt. And when they explain stuff to us, it's even better. When they just kind of keep things quiet. Like you said, I listened to you before I came on. I mean, what we want is a little bit of communication. Like, what are you looking at? What are you looking for? And just share it with us. I mean, we all know that nobody's perfect in this world, and there's going to be some mistakes that are made. But as to the great Jerry Glanville said, it's not for long if you're going to make calls like that. We don't want calls like that.
Yeah, and we can't get them too chatty though. Like I brought the refs talking up, like explaining the situation and what is taking place in front of their eyes. And I think Rich Eisen was like, yeah, but then we don't need the full on, because some of these are lawyers, Rich Eisen said. It's like, oh, I agree. We just need a little bit more communication. I don't think it's a bad thing. And if we steal 10 seconds in an explanation, we're getting that back from the replay assist that is 2.5 minutes faster seemingly every time. That Hawkeye technology for the first time was awful. A big letdown.
Yeah.
Back to the lab.
So we still got the chains coming out.
Yep.
It's just good old school.
They did good in week 1 too.
That's good. Let's talk about week 2. Tonight, big one kicks off.
Yeah.
Buffalo Bills, Miami Dolphins. Obviously, there's some stats that say that Josh Allen is going to beat the Miami Dolphins and has throughout the entirety of his career pretty much. What are your thoughts on how tonight goes? You know, Denardo O'Connor here said, chance of rain. It's
Look
Miami,
out.
Florida, chance of rain. Who knows how that's going to go? But what are you looking at this evening for this game?
Well, you know, you always worry about Tua holding the ball and the chance of rain with the wet ball, and certainly the heat and humidity are always going to be a factor. It's one of the advantages Miami has when they play at home in the month of September. Last week, you know, Jacksonville went in there, and Jacksonville played as well as you could play to kind of let the game get away from them, and they weren't affected by the heat and humidity, but Buffalo will. I think the key to this game, I think the sleeping key to this game is going to be Jordan Poyer. And not because of the way he plays safety for Miami, Pat, but the way he knows Sean McDermott. Chuck can speak to this as well. One of the things about being a great offensive coach is not knowing what the defense is doing. It's knowing what the defense adjusts to, right? Everybody looks at their call sheet, but what we're trying to do is find a way to make a play where if we get this formation, we know they check to this. Here's their adjustment, and we're going to run this. No one knows Buffalo's defense better than Jordan Poyer. He could be the coordinator of Buffalo's defense. Between he and Micah Hyde and, of course, the great Matt Milano, those three got everybody lined up. They were the communicators. So I'm sure, and this isn't anything illegal, this is just good football. I'm sure Mike McDaniel, sometime in May, June, or July, sat in his office with Jordan Poyer and said, okay, like, here's where we approach them. How do they approach us? How do they handle us? What are they looking to do? What are they trying to do within the adjustments of their scheme? And that gives Miami a huge advantage because when you can run plays, when you can read the mail of the defense, when you know this is what they're going to do if we do this, you got a great advantage. So I think Miami, now I know their running back situation, Achane is supposed to play. We'll see if he does. But to me, I think this gives them a great advantage in terms of understanding how Sean McDermott wants to play the game and also how Sean McDermott wants to call the game.
So for McDaniel, obviously, that would be good for any offense coordinator, but with that specific offense, the way they run shifts and everything and how late they are to snap it, understanding exactly what the defense wants to check into once you shift is a clear advantage, obviously a massive advantage.
Right. I mean, the whole key to offensive football is to read the mail, right? It's Tom Brady wants to get the ball in his hand and throw it to the and know exactly where he wants to throw the ball before he gets it. And when you can read the mail of the defense, it's why Indianapolis struggles, right? Everybody attacks Gus Bradley's defense because they know what they're in. They understand it. There's too many easy throws in it. There's nothing complex for the quarterback. So you got to make the game hard. This is look, the quarterbacks, one thing we learned out of week 1, and maybe not so much with the quarterbacks, but the two things we learned out of week 1, great quarterbacks read the mail. They know where to go with the football. And we're getting way more 50-yard kicks. 50-yard kicks are remarkable. And as a defensive coordinator, your call sheet has to be very careful because, 2 first downs with the new kickoff rule, and all of a sudden you're giving up 3 points out of nothing. I mean, we had 7 more 50-yard field goals last weekend than we did at any other time in the National Football League. And the fact that they made them at a rate similar to extra points before they moved the ball back. I mean, Houston wins the game with 3 50-yard field goals. 3 of them. Pittsburgh doesn't kick anything but long field goals. So I think those two things. So when your quarterback knows what he's doing with the football and knowing that these kickers can make long kicks, I say this to you, Pat, not because I'm on your show and you're a former kicker, but if you don't have a guy who can make a 50-yarder, you're at a complete disadvantage.
Yeah, we're in a different time right now. These guys are hitting balls further than ever in the past. That's why the kickoffs got so boring because it was like every guy could kick touchbacks. Every guy could put a ball into the stands. Now they're working on those long ones. I think it is a natural progression of kickers understanding that they're going to get more opportunities to kick further because it feels like with the addition of statistics and everything like that, coaches are a little bit more aggressive. Like, hey, if we give the ball up here versus giving the ball up at the 20, what's the difference? Let's go ahead and try to get 3 points on the board. So I think that's made kickers work on this more because whenever you're hitting from 50, obviously it's a mental thing, but you just have to hit a pure ball. Everybody has a strong enough leg to make it, but every once in a while, mentally, you kind of get distracted and you try to swing too hard. You hit it a little thin, just like any golf driver would. But now I think guys are working them so much because they know that more opportunities are going to take place. It's a walk in the park. 60 is the new 50. And if you look at the 60-yarder, 66-yarder, Brandon Aubrey made it. Like 66-yarder.
Made it.
And in the last couple of years, 60-yarders have been made. It's like these kickers are very, very, very good right now. And I think a lot of it is because they're working it more and getting more comfortable back there. And also they have stronger legs and better techniques. It's like, it's a big part of the game. But to your point about how many first downs until you get to field goal range, people are going to have to lock down quickly. You talked about Gus Bradley and the Colts there. Chuck actually has a question about that, I do believe.
Yeah, so to your point, you mentioned Gus. You mentioned that defensive scheme that he runs. I know Gus. Got a ton of respect for Gus. Think he's a great coach, great guy. All that stuff. Joe Mixon, kind of had his way, obviously, running the football. They go up to Green Bay, Lambeau, this week. They're going to face, Josh Jacobs, who can tote the rock. They're down Juju Brents. They've got some young corners there. So you say, hey, how the hell are they going to cover, Christian Watson, Jalen Reed, all these receivers? And I know it's Malik, Willis that's going to get the start.
We don't know that for sure.
Well, I know he hadn't totally ruled him out, and he's practiced but that's gamesmanship. That's LaFleur to a T, right? But in your opinion, what does Gus Bradley, what does this Colts defense have to do moving forward to kind of change up some things, to make things a little bit more difficult for the opponent's quarterback, so they can't read the mail? They pre-snap, they go to the line of scrimmage and say, okay, it's 3 buzz, it's going to be this, it's going to be that. What do they have to do, Lambeau, to go up and be successful at Green Bay and moving forward?
Look, I grew up with Al Davis, and I'm Coach Walsh. So I've been taught from a very early age in my NFL career to take away what the opponent does. And I have Gus is the nicest guy in the league. He's really a wonderful man. And anything I say is not about his personality. It's about his play sheet. There's not enough volume. There's not enough answers on this call sheet. And so this week he goes to Green Bay, right? So you're sitting in the office on a Tuesday. You say, okay, if Malik Willis plays and we force him to throw the ball, he was 5 for 16 against Kansas City for 80 yards on a Sunday night game that Mike Vrabel got the game to overtime. I think that game tape should go in the Hall of Fame as the greatest coaching job by anybody in the National Football League, to get that game into overtime when your quarterback couldn't complete a pass, right? It was remarkable. So he's going to struggle to throw the ball. He hasn't been there long enough. So what do we got to say? We got to stop Josh Jacobs. If we got to play 5 down linemen on every single snap, let's play 5 down linemen. If we got to play goal line defense out in the middle of the field to stop their run game, let's do it. Let's force Malik Willis to beat us. Oh, and by the way, we're not giving them any nakeds. We're not going to give them any boots, because that's what they're going to want to do. We're going to take away screens. We're going to take away boots. We're going to take away all the easy throws that we're going to try to give him. Make him have to beat us doing something that he can't do. And that's my problem with the Colts. All summer long, Joe Mixon, you got to stop him. But more than Joe Mixon, Nico Collins has been a cold killer. Like, I would have doubled Nico Collins the minute he got off the bus. Like, I would have had him doubled at the hotel. Like, there's no chance I'm rolling in the game and let Nico Collins beat me. Like, and if he would have had to get on the bus, or he had to get on the plane, Chuck, and have to answer the call, we had him doubled. No, wait a minute. We didn't jam him. This is the Belichick coverage, in and out. You got him, I got him, nobody's got him. Right? He got him in, I got him out. If it goes right, I got him. If it goes left, you got him. You know what? Nobody has him. So, don't let Nico Collins beat us. Make somebody else beat us. That, to me, is the essence of the game. That's one of the greatest throws you see in football.
Yes. Lambeau, and I know what you're saying. I hear what you're saying. They got one under center down there. And Mixon is obviously a massive addition, and he's talking about, I forget what his statement was. He said, me and Stephon Diggs have reservations. We're late to our reservations. And he's talking about Super Bowl for both of them, right? We go down to Houston to try to get that entire thing. It's like every game we want people to see us just showing up. Now, the Colts 29-27. Let's not, everything you just said. Let's make sure we understand that. Stephon Diggs goes and scores 2 touchdowns there. Nico goes.
That was an easy access touchdown, Pat. You could have thrown that. I could have thrown it.
Chuck's not happy about that. Chuck's not happy about that one at all.
Chuck, come on. He would have, look, you can't give up. Their quarterbacks are too good.
How many times have you seen that formation offset back to 2 receivers, 2 tight ends, YY on the backside for protection, sprint right, sprint left option in this case?
Of course.
Yeah, look, and what are we doing? Your call sheet it's not fair to the players. Because what happens is on Monday you blame the player. Oh, well, we just didn't cover the guy, or we didn't do this. Well, I worked for Al Davis. You couldn't blame the players, even though when it was their fault, you couldn't blame them. But at some point, this is too easy. This is a high school play. This is a high school play.
It's my dad's favorite. Sprint right option. He said, okay, you throw the flat. If the guy expands.
All right. Both you Italians. Okay, we got hands, we got mouths.
Hey, Big Sam said, hey, throw the flat. Guy expands, throw the curl. If not, run. Greatest play in football, sprint right option.
Yeah, well, sprint left this time. And
sprint left.
Yeah, you got Stephon Diggs there, too, which is not, a problem at all.
But nobody jammed the receiver. It's like everything's wrong with this. Why don't we just give? You know what? We could have saved 8 seconds and just gave him the touchdown.
Should have.
Freeway.
22
freeway Lombo.
Fourth quarter, 4 minutes left. That's not. Hey, week one. Week one.
Plenty of room to
Now
grow.
they brought everybody back.
This isn't a week one problem, Pat. This has been an ongoing problem. They're 28th in the league the last 2 years on defense in points allowed. 28th in the league the last 2 years. Let's not. Gus is a wonderful man. I'm not saying that. But the reality of it is the proof is in the pudding here. Okay. If you're going to be a championship team and you have the ball for 20 minutes and that quarterback gets you 27 points and he's throwing lasers down the field, you're going to have to play good defense. But they had the ball for 40 minutes. I think Shane Steichen has got Kyle Shanahan-like play calling and play design talent. I really do.
Let's go.
I think he does. With him. I think he's really good. However, he's got to become a head coach and say, we can't do this, Gus. We got to have more diversity in the account.
Okay. I thought we were
portfolio.
I thought we were doing positive there for a bit.
Well, he did.
And then he dropped the however.
Positive.
Yeah, then there was the however comes. I didn't know everything was about to happen right there, but I do appreciate the passion for us not wasting Anthony Richardson's ability on that offensive side of the ball. A lot of money invested on the Colts defense, too. A lot of money invested on that side of the ball. Gus has been there a long time. A lot of those guys have been there a long time. They're going to get it right. Hey, the boys are going to get it right. That's tough Texans team.
Exactly. Yeah.
That's tough Texans. I don't like the stats from the last 2 years. 20. I didn't know. I could have been better off without knowing that, but we got a big one in Green Bay.
Yep. That's why we lift all them weights. That's why we keep stats.
Okay, all right. Okay, let's move away from this game, please. Colts are fine, by the way. Favored in Green Bay. That's always good. That's always good. That's how you want it to be going in there. Shane Steichen's a dog, though. Let's never forget it. Let's talk other things happening around the NFL. Connor has a question for you, Lombo.
Yeah, Lombo, let's talk about a team that's well coached, the New England Patriots. Now, right now, everything in the organization is looking great. Jacoby Brissett, there are clips coming out of him and Drake May at practice, and he's kind of showing Drake May the ropes. Drake goes through the drill. Jacoby's watching him, lets him know, like, hey, let's do it this way. This is the NFL. You're supposed to do it like this. And then there's also some reports from Evan Washburn saying that Drake May is getting 30% of first-team reps throughout the week, which I believe is very abnormal. I think the average was, said to be 5 to 10%. He's getting 30%. What do you make of that? Clearly, Jacoby being a savvy bridge quarterback vet for New England. And then what do you just think about their performance overall? Because basically nobody had them beating the Bengals, and those salty Patriots just went into Cincinnati and ate some cats. Salty.
Well, Mike, I have a 7-year-old grandson who picks games every week. He was 15-1. The only one he missed, Dominic, was this one. Idiot. He had the Bengals like all of us.
7 years old, Connor.
And he got it wrong.
He would have been undefeated.
Dominic.
But here's what I'll say. I think this game was won on Tuesday because I think you got to give the New England Patriots a ton of credit for setting up a game plan that they knew they had to execute if they were going to have any chance to win. If they got behind in this game, there was no way they were going to win. And the fact that Drake May is getting 30% of the snaps makes all the sense in the world because their offense is very simple. They're not going to try to outcomplicate people. They're not going to have a voluminous playbook. They're going to try to run the football, try to convert some third and shorts, not have any negative plays, play good defense, and stay in the game to the fourth quarter, and have a kicker that can make some kicks, which they didn't have last year. So I think you got to take your hat off. It was what I preach all the time. It was three-dimensional football, offense, defense, and kicking game working together to win the game. And it starts on Tuesday. It doesn't start on Sunday. Here's how we got to play the game to win the game. And if you're the Bengals, you're upset because what the Bengals needed to do was start fast. The Bengals needed to make them play from behind 14-0. Now Brissett's got to throw the ball 40 times. Now that offensive line has to block 40 times. When you don't do that, you set yourself up for failure. And to me, look, Zach Taylor's 0-5 the first 2 weeks over the last 3 seasons in opening games. I thought they would be better. They weren't at opening day.
Colts haven't won an opening game since 2013. They have the worst.
Oh, yeah.
That's the worst in probably the history, but it's certainly in the league right now. The Bengals, though, with Joe Burrow, have notorious slow starters. Is that the reason, or do you think this Patriots team potentially has a chance here? Because Connor goes from, listen, 2025 is going to be awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, this year is a transition year. Coach Mayo already setting the standard and the culture where it already was. Elliott Wolf making good decisions seemingly already for the team. They're building for next year. Then they get a win. Are they going to be able to do this to like a lot of teams? Is this look out for the Patriots not dead, or are we worried about that?
I think the month of September is always what we would call declaration month. You declare who you are as a team. And then once the teams figure out how you play, then it reverses. Remember, there's a lot of teams that win games in September that struggle. I think there's a very specific pathway that New England has to play, and it can't be deviated. They're not good enough to deviate. That's not a knock. That's just reality. You hear basketball coaches talk about it all the time. They say, if we play this game in the 50s, we win. If it gets in the 70s, we lose. Well, that's the same thing football teams have to think and operate. This is how we have to play the game to win. And I think New England did a really good job. I think Cincinnati didn't do a good job because Cincinnati should have been very aggressive early in the game to try to get that lead, to make them play a different way. And, of course, they had problems with their offensive line. I didn't think Joe threw the ball very well. You know, their defense could not stop the run. I mean, you go in that game, you know they're going to try to run the football on you, and they just couldn't stop it.
The no first downs in the first quarter for the Cincinnati Bengals. They didn't actually convert one until the second quarter.
That'd feel pretty good.
Yeah, it felt great. You're going to do that to a lot of teams, though. Seattle, look out.
Okay. You writing off Geno Smith?
I'm not. Hey, look, I'm not doing that because I want him to write back, though. Mm-hmm.
Oh, enough.
I like Geno Smith, and I like his cousin, too.
It is interesting. You should have seen Connor's dumbass. It's so good, Jeremiah.
Yeah.
So good at football. Might be the best receiver of all time, freshman in Ohio State. Can't wait to watch him throughout the entirety of the season. But Connor, throughout the game in the suite that we were at for the Colts, we have a good setup with TVs. At the beginning, Connor just coming in, all right, season begins here today. You know, like that's how it is. This is going to be the year that it's going to be. And then as that game's happening, and there's like culture on the offense here, all you hear is this masshole from inside the suite go, okay! Okay, we might be. Hey, like he started like like through the game, and you said it's declaration month. That's a pretty good way to describe it. It was like watching Connor, you know, kind of transform into. Wait a minute. Wait, why did I? Oh shit! Here we go. He's like, we're winning a Super Bowl. We might win a Super Bowl, especially when Drake May gets in there with what he's able to do. Jacoby's the perfect guy for him. It's like one Sunday can do that for somebody, and that's why football is the greatest on earth.
Well, and just the importance of, like, what is Gerard Mayo going to be? And, like, realizing, like, not only having the team ready, like Lombo's talking about them winning the game on Tuesday. It's like, well, this guy can game plan, clearly, then, and the guys believe in him because they're playing their ass off for him. And then after the game, you're hearing Jacoby Brissett talk about during his pregame speech, Gerard Mayo, he starts crying. It's like, okay, hold on. We might have the guy at head coach, and he's 38 years old. It's incredible.
Go ahead, Ty.
Yeah, Lombo, you mentioned it a little bit earlier, but the QB play in week one was pretty pedestrian across the entire league. And I know rookies are a little bit different, but like all of those guys basically, you know, under 3 yards per completion, which I know is something you harp on. Do you think we're expecting a big bounce back for QBs in week two, or do you still think it's going to take a little bit because so many of these guys don't play at all during the preseason?
I think so many of them don't play. I think the rhythm in the passing game is really bad. I think when you look at it, we only had two quarterbacks who threw the ball for over 300 yards. Both of them didn't cover the spread. I think the passing games were behind. And these offensive line play is struggling too, because remember, not only did the quarterbacks not play, a lot of teams didn't play their offensive linemen. And so now all of a sudden protection breaks down and it became harder, and third down becomes harder to convert. I think you've got to get better play out of your quarterback. I mean, Arizona, look, they go into Buffalo. Kyler Murray averaged 5.5 yards attempt. I mean, that's not good enough to win. It couldn't get the ball to Marvin Harrison. So I don't think it was as much the defense as it was the lack of execution. As you go through all the single games and you start watching this, and there's going to be a jump. You're going to see a jump from week one to week two where the quarterbacks finally have played and they're going to get better. Will Kirk Cousins improve? Or is it really his Achilles because it didn't look like he could drive the ball? You hope he can improve because you want him to be healthy. But to me, that's been the issue, and I think that's going to continue. But this line play's got to get better. I mean, the line play. Look, Cincinnati couldn't block. They couldn't block Kenyon White in that game. He had 2.5 sacks. He was dominant in there. They became a problem. And that you can't throw the ball when your quarterback's on his back.
Yeah, out of Florida State, obviously an absolute beast, seemingly from day one. You talk about the Atlanta Falcons and Kirk Cousins. How many pressures was it the Pittsburgh Steelers had?
They had it was like 48% of his dropbacks or something like that.
And T.J. Watt had
Well, they acted like they didn't know he was going to be at the game. I mean, they acted like he wasn't going to be there. I don't know what Atlanta was thinking. Obviously, they thought TJ was off this week. I guess they missed that memo. He wasn't. I mean, look, if I'm coaching Atlanta, I'm not letting McCrary block him. Look at that. I mean, that's coaching malpractice right there. You can't block. This guy is the top player in the league. You set up an edge.
Go back to that first play there. Go back to that first play there because I don't think it's 12 seconds too. This is the game. This is the game.
Yeah, he's coming around the edge. You don't have any way to help him.
No chip, no back.
Not one-on-one.
No chip.
That is the game.
I mean, look, I've said this all summer, and if you listen to my pod or my show, Atlanta's offensive line is a run-blocking, play-action pass line. They're not a drop-back pass. When they have to throw it in that, I know they get high grades from all these services and all that crap, but their offensive linemen are set up for play action. But you can't do that. I mean, you can't allow – I mean, nobody's blocking T.J. Watt one-on-one. I promise you this. I know Sean Payton well enough to know that he's not going to do this. He's just not. He went into his office on Tuesday, and he told the offensive staff, we're not letting T.J. Watt beat us today.
Chuck,
we're not going to let him.
Hey, that's an interesting balance as a man who coached for 36 years, 18 in college, 18 in the NFL. I guess the message could be having faith in your guy, saying, hey, everybody talks about T.J. Watt. Yeah, right. Not against you. How do you balance that and then also being like, hey, bub, yeah, there's an alien on the other side here. This is who you – what is the messaging? It doesn't matter?
I think these offensive – you're not worried about hurting anybody's feelings. You remember we'd walk in there, and the first thing we'd do would put up that guy's picture and say, this sumbitch is not wrecking the game. You remember I went on the rant about Robert Quinn when he was at the Rams?
Yeah, J.J. Watt, obviously, every single week. And that led to Anthony Costanzo, obviously, having nightmares of J.J. Watt and drawings of potential outcomes of the game and everything like that. Like, that's real deal. Like, I wonder if that tackle, knew that he was going to be ISO'd on with TJ Watt the entire going in. Like, I wonder how we got to that.
Thinking like, hey, can I get some help?
Yeah, I wonder
he's going through practice, and you don't go. He's taking.
Mm-hmm. Yep, got
He's doing great against the card team. Oh God, we're going to be fine. And then all of a sudden,
no, you're not.
This ain't going like practice, coach.
They tried a few
Can I get a freaking tight end over here or some chip help?
They tried a few chips with Kyle Pitts.
That didn't work either. You set the whole game plan up. You're basically in a tight end formation to Watt's side. You forced them to move Watt. Exactly. You force them to move him around. You're saying to yourself, look, McCrary, you're going to set inside out. You're always going to have help on the edge. Don't get beat inside. Don't get beat inside. Don't get beat inside. Just keep them from going inside. You got help on the outside. And then set your game plan up. But no, we got to get 5 in a route. We got to do this. Oh, we're the most explosive offense in football. No, we're not. No, we're not. We can't throw the ball if we can't protect.
Lombo, real quick. So like 5 out, right? Hey, scat protection, free release, empty, whatever, right? Get 5. Those guys aren't all going deep anyway. Chip, give your quarterback some time, all right? And then your late leaks anyway, your checkdowns anyway, over the ball in the flat.
Dwight Freeney caused all of this. If you do recall, Bill Belichick, Dwight Freeney, that's the first time they had somebody crack I think chip down. Yep. And then it ended up not only going tight end chip and get out, running back also.
Yep.
Going to help clean up. So it's actually a triple team. It's not even a double team. It's like a triple team that Dwight Freeney started seeing, Robert Mathis started seeing, many. Myles Garrett sees it.
Oh, yeah.
TJ Watt, though, not good enough for Defensive Player of the Year. Not good enough to get double team or triple team. In fourth quarter, with 12 seconds left, 3rd and 13, no timeouts. That's awesome. Hey, it's first. Hey, week 1, they're going to get better.
Uh-huh. He was the number 1 player on PFF this week, which was, I don't know what got into that office or whatever, but it happened.
Okay. And Tone, as we wrap up, we'll hear with Lombardi.
Lombo, last year, one of the favorite things that we do with you is just, hey, what are some of your favorite picks for this upcoming weekend? I know it's Thursday versus Friday, but I assume you've already got those locked in your head.
Yeah, I mean, I love the Rams this week. Now, look, the Rams' offensive line took a beating. So they have one starter. Jonah Jackson is going to be in their offensive line this week. But here's what I think fans have to understand about the injury report is when you know as a coach that you're not going to have players, you game plan around it. So Sean McVay's really good. I don't think Sean McVay's going to go 0-2. And if you're telling me I get a 1.5 with the Rams on the road, I'm going to take it because I think he's very good at game planning. Matthew Stafford, I thought, was sensational. I mean, he was getting the crap beat out of him. He had a left tackle who wasn't a left tackle playing over there. Then Detroit was smart as hell. What did Detroit do in that game? Oh, they took Aiden Hutchinson and moved him over to the other side because they knew they had a patsy in there and they knew they could take advantage of it.
Got a fish here.
With a week to game plan, and the Rams played good defense. Now, they're hurt. Their corner situation was hurt. They got tired in that game. But look, Arizona's not very good on defense. I don't think they're going to rush, and I think Stafford can make enough plays. I know they don't have Puka. I know they'll miss him, but I have faith in Sean McVay to game plan to win a tight game.
Yeah, the Rams played, Detroit Lions Super Bowl team.
Yeah.
In an opening night without Aaron Donald. Your first game without Aaron Donald, many other pieces in Detroit.
Yep.
I thought they played very good.
Coin toss away from winning that game, to be honest. Right when we won the coin toss, that game was over.
Yeah, because Matt Stafford's probably going to Matt Stafford there.
Exactly, and Stafford to Cup is actually unstoppable. It doesn't matter if the defense knows where he's going. They will be open every single time.
And that's why Puka last year obviously comes through in a massive way because Cup is out. And when Puka comes back, obviously that is good news for the offense or not. But if Cup is healthy, Stafford still has the option to just kind of put the ball wherever the fuck he wants to put the ball.
Yeah, and to your point, Lambo, that defense has a lot of guys that I don't know who they are, and they played outstanding.
Yeah, they do. They play hard, and they get after the quarterback. And look, Arizona's offensive line, Jonah Williams, who they signed from Cincinnati, he's on IR already. Washington, the left tackle, who they drafted in the first round, he didn't play. They didn't play well either. Kyler Murray had a hard time. Look, when you rush Kyler Murray and keep him in the pocket and make him play quarterback in the pocket, he has a hard time seeing down the field. That's why he was at 5.5 yards per attempt last week. So I think week 2 is a hard week, right? Sean McVay can't go 0-2. You don't want to be 0-2, right? And you got to have to figure it out. But when you have time during the week to know you're not having these men of players, you can game plan around it. And Stafford's so good at getting rid of the ball so quickly that he can compensate for it. And he's so tough. I mean, he took some incredible hits last week.
Yeah, and that's Stafford football.
Yeah.
Always has been, always will be. Big marquee game, Chiefs-Bengals. How are you leaning on that one?
Well, I mean, I think everybody takes you take Patrick Mahomes in a game where it's 3 and under like I did last week. You want that, right? You always take Mahomes when he's favored by 3 or under and you figure you're going to win that. Meanwhile, when he's favored by 4 or more, the dog seems to always cash. He wins, but the dog cashes. Look, this is Cincinnati. They have played very well there. They won a conference championship game there. They've also taken them they lost one because of a punt return and a penalty. I just don't know where Burrow is, and they got to fix their offensive line. Trent Brown didn't play well for Cincinnati last week at right tackle. Do they promote Mims, who's been hurt, their first-round pick? We'll see, but I think this is a big game. Now, we've heard nothing about Jamar Chase not practicing or not playing, so assume he's going to play, but they still don't have T. Higgins, which makes it a problem. But I think that Zach Taylor understands what Spagnuolo tries to do against him. I think he has a good handle on it. This is going to come down to do they have enough in their defensive front to put some pressure on Mahomes? I think that remains to be seen. Look, they couldn't stop New England from running the ball last week, Cincinnati's defense. They missed DJ Reader in there. There's no question.
Lou Anarumo, obviously, we assume we'll have it figured out as well going into week 2. If you're in Cincinnati, you're not able to go to the home of the Chiefs. You can go down Paycor, $99.
That's right.
Watch party, $25 for concessions comes in that $99. $25 goes to the pro shop.
Both?
So they're forcing you to spend $50 at the stadium whenever you get it, at least, which I respect and appreciate.
Yep.
But there's a watch party happening down there at Paycor Stadium. The Bengals will be there. There will be
No, they got the Bengals.
The Bengals will be
Holy
there,
shit.
and everything else here that sensitive Cincinnati fans, Bengal captain, chimed in. They are the most sensitive bunch, this group, seemingly, that we have encountered. These are all things that are happening. $99 watch party at the stadium. Go hang out with a bunch of other Bengals fans, because who they say gonna beat them Bengals? Well, nobody said it about the Patriots.
Nope.
Nobody said it about the Patriots. No. But this is classic Bengals football, and they've voted pretty well against old Kansas City. So they gather up, pay $100, gather, getting food though.
Yeah. And
it's something, a t-shirt.
Half a
At the pro shop as well.
Bingo.
But to gather and also perform, I think a band is playing as well.
Surprise guest.
Surprise guest. So I
Joey
think it's,
Chestnut there again?
I'll tell you what, if Joey Jaws Chestnut makes some things disappear while this game's taking place, like O's the Mentalist, I mean, that would certainly be worth the price of admission, but I think it would be good vibes there. Cincinnati's got a great fan base. It's like a college fan base almost for their team, and hopefully it'll be a good game for them. All right, Lombo, we appreciate the hell out of you, brother.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate you, too. Talk to you next week. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, Michael Lombardi.
Yeah, Lambo.
Likes the Rams, likes the Bengals, it sounds like. Plus 5.5.
Mm-hmm. And the Patriots, it sounds like.
What's that?
Just kind of got that vibe, man? Didn't you?
I know he didn't like the Colts.
I know that. Yeah.
Why'd you do that? Why'd you do that?
Open up a can, boy.
Yeah, we did not. I did not expect that for Gus Bradley. And I would like to reiterate what everybody has said about Gus Bradley. Gus Bradley was head coach of the Jacksonville Jaguars whenever we were playing against them. And I did not know him that well. I don't know if he knew of my Twitter account or what it was. But every game, warm-ups would come over to me and I don't want to say full conversation, but pretty much full conversation. No reason to do that with me. He's always been incredibly kind. Then he gets to Indianapolis. Everybody likes him. But I didn't know they were 28th last year and the year before that. He's been here for a good bit. We've invested a lot of money on the defensive side of the ball. Hopefully we're able to sort it because Anthony Richardson appears to be the real deal, which leads me to, ladies and gentlemen, NFL Week 1's top four plays that we found, and now one of the plays is going to be a combination of two people making 12 different plays. But first, let's go to Josh Allen up there for the Buffalo Bills. They were down 17-3 at one point to the Arizona Cardinals. They would come back and win because Josh Allen put the team on his back, though. He's literally been doing this since his rookie year, if you remember, against the Minnesota Vikings, where he almost takes the chrome of a dome right to his little dome. But instead, Josh Allen, that's 9 feet. He flew there. I don't know what the Olympic record is for a broad jump or whatever the case, but he looked phenomenal. Let's go to the second best play we appreciated from NFL Week 1. Tyreek Hill goes where? House call. Gets the Jacksonville Jaguars safety to flip his hips. We learned that from Everything DB yesterday. And he scores a massive cutter as the Miami Dolphins come back from being down 14-0 to get a big-time win after a Jason Sanders 51-yard field goal. Tyreek Hill obviously was in handcuffs on the street before this game. A big scene was made about all of that. And whenever he got on the field, he was the same old Tyreek Hill. Look for some explosive plays this evening maybe from Tua.
Okay.
Tyreek. That is kind of what that offense is prefaced off of. I mentioned it there a little second ago. How about Chris Boswell and Jake Moody? Both of them go 6 for 6 in opening weekend. 50-yard balls getting donged all around the league. These two dudes were the best by far. I can't wait to see them continue to go. Jake Moody last year was a rookie out of Michigan. Long season after a national championship. This year he's back fresh, banking them in. Good for both these boys. Good for kickers all around the entire NFL. And the number one play.
Whoa.
Of NFL Week 1 is the longest pass on record in the last few years in the NFL. Anthony Richardson, 65.3 yards. This ball was in the sky as he was slipping, falling all over the coconut husk in the turf, and instead drops a dime into Alec Pierce's lap. The Colts are going to lose that game. Although it was very, very exciting and electrifying, we found out quickly that we still got a guy, and if he remains healthy, and Alec Pierce, welcome to the NFL. What a catch for him. He had a couple of those. That is the NFL Week 1 top 4 that we found there. It was a beautiful time.
Only one losing play on there.
Yeah, that's it.
All right. We'll be back in hour 2. We got a lot more to talk about. We'll have Kirk Herbstreit joining us as he kicks off Week 2 of the NFL season this evening on Prime. And then we have Chuck Pagano's picks. This Italian man has been a lock giver for 2 years now. We'll be back on the other side. Be a friend, tell a friend something nice might change your life, like a Ram truck. Ooh. See you then.
He's saying don't go off the top, it's too shallow.
All you're going to hear this stadium do is they put the big paw up, they start shaking it, they go, whoa. Hey, what things are going good, Yeah, he loves the defensive side of the ball. He said yesterday to me that this is a blue-collar team. They win it on special teams. They have 5 block kicks this season. The defensive side of the ball, Lynch leads the Big 12 in sacks. But also on the offensive side, Denzel Mims is an absolute animal. He is a weapon. Charlie Brewer, the quarterback from Lake Travis, His dad was a quarterback at Texas.
Yeah.
His grandpa was a quarterback at Texas. And the people here in Waco just so happen to get a chance to see Charlie Brewer on a daily basis.
Okay.
Hey. Yeah, boomer here is going to mean a little bit different than what it means on the internet currently. And hopefully here in Baylor, they hope they're not hearing a lot of boomer sooner. Everybody wants to be a punter, including quarterbacks. If I was a quarterback, I'd want to be a punter as well. 0 yards on that punt. That's an embarrassing situation. The Dak dance that gets on national television has led to a lot of losses, but you got to respect the hips being able to what sign am I going to make for college game day? Well, I want to make something creative. I want to make something fun. No, to hell with it. I don't like OU. It's so thick. Look how thick that thing is. That's years and years of patience. 19. You're heading right for the boat. Right now? Okay, let's do it. We are out here on the Brazos River, which you can take a boat to the game. One of the only stadiums in the country that you can do. That's beautiful out here. A lot of people would say, this is the last time I'm going to be on game day. The last time I allegedly did what I'm about to do, I ended up in a jail cell. Let's go! Bad decision. The poop kickers are getting some wet down here. It's a lot higher than I thought. You felt it a lot.
You look like Ric Flair.
It was like 5 feet. I was standing there. That's full commitment, by the way.
The following program is a collection of stooges talking about happenings in the sports world. It is meant to be comedic informative. The opinions expressed on this show do not necessarily reflect the beliefs of their peers, their boss, or ESPN. There may be some cuss words because that's how humans in the real world talk. If you are young, please seek permission before watching any further.
Hey.
Why?
Let's go.
This show stinks, and the fact that you listen, we are very, very thankful for.
McAfee on the line with a gorgeous assist.
The all-time leading tackler for the Green Bay Packers.
You pink.
Damn it! Be a friend, tell a friend something nice could change their life. Hello, beautiful people. And welcome back to our humble abode, the Thunderdome, on this NFL Week 2 kickoff Thursday, September 12th, 2024. Hour 2 of the program starts now. Football is awesome, and the NFL kicks off this evening as we have another great 4 days of football to look forward to. Tonight, the Buffalo Bills and the Miami Dolphins will play on Prime. We'll talk to Kirk Herbstreit, who will be on the call for that in about 14 minutes or so to see how he's feeling about the night in Miami. Let's go to the talks table at Boston Connor and at Ty Schmidt. Ty, you look awesome.
Yeah, you know, it's a little chilly in here, so I just decided to throw some of my gear on. Just wanted anytime you can remind people that no one out pizzas the Hut. I'm kind of one of the. Oh yeah, you see the patch right there? What does that say? Oh, it says no one out pizzas the Hut. A tale as old as time. I could say it, or I could just, I don't know, turn around and tell you that, boom, nobody out pizzas the Hut. So I just, I'm hungry. I haven't eaten lunch yet.
Just through your earbud.
Yeah, I had to throw my, and rolled over them, heard them crunch. So I don't know if those things are going to work anymore. But no, I just, I saw this thing and I said, listen, I'd take a bullet for any. Wait a minute. What's that?
What?
Holy shit.
Yup. We have breaking news. Pizza Hut is an official partner of the program.
Wow.
Yeah! You guys thought Ty was just dressing like that on a regular ass Thursday. He would.
I would.
He actually would. And our love for Pizza Hut has been literally shouted from the mountaintops.
Runs deep.
Because there's a lot of different pizza places that serve pizza to people.
Sure.
But for our money, throughout our entire existence, me, 37 years. Okay, now I grew up in Pittsburgh, home of a lot of great pizza places. Then I go to school in West Virginia. Then I come out here to Indiana. So I grew up around the Italian community. So there's a lot of local pizza shops that I went to. Dallas Sala's Pizza is my favorite by far in Pittsburgh. It is worth the trip if you're near the area. But then once you move out of that type of town, and there's not a lot of Italians, and there's not a lot of little mom and pop pizza shops, you start to wonder yourself, I love pizza. Where am I going to go? No one.
And I mean no one.
Out Pizza's the Hut.
That's exactly right.
And I can't stress this enough. The wings.
My God.
The wings are good.
Yeah. Best in biz.
The wings are very, very good.
Unbelievable.
Now, people are going to say, well, I know this place, and insert some Italian family like I did with Dallas Sala's, and then compare it to pizza. Those are two different, we're talking about two different.
This is chain.
Okay, we're talking about two different games here. There is no reason for the mom and pop shops to be mad at Pizza Hut because Pizza Hut delivers the most consistent pie every time.
Every time.
Every time.
Every
Every
time.
once in a while, you'll get a shitbag pie from some of these other places.
It's going to happen.
Not cooked properly. Maybe the crust has like a little bit of in it and on it, and then the bottom not there. Pizza Hut's going to deliver for you.
Every time.
Because no one.
And I mean no one. Out Pizza's the Hut.
Welcome aboard.
Yeah.
Love you, Pizza Hut.
Right now, the My Hut box is available at some of the places. Basically, the rules. No one out Pizza Hut. The Hut. My Hut box is available for a limited time only. Prices, participation, and availability may vary. I don't know what that means.
Sure.
But if they have the My Hut box, do it.
Yeah.
Right away.
What is in the My Hut box, Tom?
So you're getting yourself a little personal pan pizza. I believe it's a 6-inch pizza, and obviously you can add whatever toppings on that pizza as you'd like. And then you're also going to get a selection of, you want wings.
What?
You want fries.
What?
You want one of their
breadsticks.
Yeah, breadsticks.
Piping hot.
It's not exactly a pizzone. I know it's basically like a Pizza Hut quesadilla, essentially. That is also an option. So you're getting your pie, but then you're also getting a nice little side, a nice little treat to kind of, just cap off a delicious slice of pizza from the Hut.
Ty, let's put the Pizza Hut aside here.
Okay.
It's about pizza, though. No gimmicks here.
None.
No.
How pumped are you that Pizza Hut is an official partner of the program? Because I want to let you know when I found out that it was happening, I was so juiced. I was excited. This is one of the ones for the history of our program.
Oh, yeah.
This is the best, coolest, and luckiest, I think, since how much we've been chatting about them. Because we would have continued to give them free advertising.
Without a doubt.
Yeah, and
Been doing it for years.
We've been giving them millions of dollars of free advertising for years. Now they're officially aboard. We can't wait to get started.
I don't say this lightly. This is the best day of my life.
Married with a kid.
Yeah, another one on the way. This is the best day of my life. When I saw this,
You don't mean that, obviously.
I don't know.
Yeah, but whatever we're talking mom and pop shop pizza places and Pizza Hut, you're talking having kids and Pizza Hut being a part of the program.
Exactly.
Those are two different buckets of consideration.
Let's just say that every Friday still get Pizza Hut, and my daughter loves Pizza Hut as well.
Oh, it's a
just
generational thing.
Yeah, it's a generational thing. Obviously, we've gotten to do a lot of cool things. Had a lot of cool partners throughout the time of
Ram
the program.
trucks.
Ram trucks.
700 horsepower.
700 horsepower. Unbelievable. Cool die cast on your desk that's crawling up the dude wipe.
Boom. Bang. Dude wipes good people.
Also a cool thing. A bunch of other ones SeatGeek.
Been around a long time.
Exactly.
Ticket Stooge. We know him.
From the
Best ticket buying platform on planet Earth and the moon. By far.
Been talking about Pizza Hut on the show, giving them free pub for years and years now. Kind of just waiting for this day, praying for this day, hoping that it would one day come. It's here. I mean, I feel like I could die a happy man now.
Congrats to us.
Congrats.
Pizza Hut, we can't wait. We can't wait to shake their hands.
Congrats, man.
Cannot wait.
Congrats.
Hats off to you, brother. Happy for you.
Thank
Yeah.
Chuck, please.
Chuck.
Put it there.
Congrats, Ty.
What's the back of that jacket say?
It says, "Boo! No one out Pizza's the Hut, bitch!"
All right, let's move along.
Passion.
Let's move along with the show. That jacket's so cool.
Sick.
Awesome. It's hot. It's hot.
Well, it's
hot quality leather.
That's 100% leather.
No, it's whatever that leather came from. Animal died peacefully. Lived a long life. I think it's faux. I think it's
and
faux.
even if it didn't, who cares?
Yeah, please, I'll get that pepperoni on top of that thing. One half of the hammer.
Dahn.
Cowboys. AP Tone is here. Has the money changed since we started the program?
Just looking at it, 73% still on the Bills. 53% of the money is on the Dolphins.
Okay, that is awesome news. And a man who coached football for 36 years, 18 in college, 18 in the NFL. Chuck Pagano is here.
Hey, baby Chuck.
Paisan, I know you understand and appreciate a good pie.
Yeah.
And what Ty's going through right now is what we like to call a life climax, where things seem to be only up and up and nothing can go wrong. Ain't that right, Ty?
Yeah, nothing can go wrong. Nothing can go wrong.
Not on this day.
Not on this day.
On this day.
On this day.
You
of
see
days.
clearly, don't you?
I do see clearly.
What's that song?
If we have to explain it, you never understand. Joining us now, ladies and gentlemen, from an attic in Ohio, is a college football national champion, a Super Bowl champion, a Ryder Cup winner, and the former president of Ohio, A.J. Hawk. AJ, we did it. We did it.
Congrats, Ty. Ty, you officially arrived. Congrats, man. That little My Hut box looks amazing. I'm a kid that grew up getting the personal pans. I'd read like 2 Berenstein Bear books, have my parents sign off on it. I'd go get a free personal pan, little pepperoni when I was a kid.
Yeah, Pizza Hut has great history for our generation, I think, throughout elementary school and everything like that with the personal pan points, I think you could earn, and everything like that. The buffet. The Pizza Hut buffet, game changer. Everybody talks about CC's or little CC's or whatever the hell it was, and that was certainly a nice thing to stop by. You know, every once in a while, $5 you just
that thing lasted.
Well, it didn't last your body too long either, which I think is potentially the reason why you move on. But Pizza Hut is a mainstay for the McAfee family. Has been for the Schmidt family, apparently. Yep. And even the Hawks, who don't eat carbs.
Ever.
That's pretty awesome.
Just pepperoni.
We love pizza. No, we like cheese. I love cheese pizza. Thin crust Pizza Hut cheese. Are you kidding me? Like, you can't beat that.
Yeah, so I'm a thin crust pepperoni guy. But nonetheless, shout out to Pizza Hut. Hey, we got a big game tonight. Week 2 of the NFL season kicks off down in Miami. AJ Hawk, how do you feel about the matchup? Now, we talked about it ad nauseum, but we have to continue to do as such because it's very important. Josh Allen has been the Miami Dolphins' daddy since he got it, right? Gump, isn't that that's what everybody's saying?
Yeah, record-wise, for sure. He runs wild. He throws, so his total for throwing, I believe, tonight is 246. I think he's gone over 300 yards probably like 6 to 8 times in a row against us.
So, AJ, how do you feel about those stats, what we're learning and hearing, and how tonight fares for the Buffalo Bills in Miami?
Well, I mean, going in before even hearing you guys talk all this and show all this Josh Allen situation, like I was still leaning Bills for whatever reason. I like the win they got week 1. I like what Josh Allen's doing, everything about it. But I keep hearing about this weather. I know Conman's been checking in on this weather. Are we raining? Are we not raining? Are we lightning? What are we doing?
We checked in. There is a chance, and now look, this is Miami, and usually this doesn't happen. But there's a chance of rain, and there's a chance of some thunderstorms. But it should be over by 8:00. Granted, that can change.
I think that entire area is potentially rain, hurricane. There's some storms?
The Gulf. I think it's more towards the Gulf, but it might be.
Because I think South Carolina, there's a chance
it's supposed to rain all weekend.
Yeah,
there's a hurricane coming, right? Isn't there a hurricane there?
I'm just learning this morning. And once again, for everybody that is going to have to deal with the storm, I apologize that I am just now learning about this because I'm looking into the travel to South Carolina. I guess there's like rain all weekend coming through there. And so I just assume it's the whole area. I don't know how the storms normally work, but it feels like normally it's just like an entire spot. Now, as a coach, how do you kind of handle that, manage all that?
Make sure your cleats are right.
That's it.
Wet ball drills. Obviously down there, you remember Clyde, when we were anticipating rain, how Coach Clyde would go with the quarterbacks and he'd have the Gatorade bottles and he'd be squared. So they're prepared. I mean, they practice down there. They've got an indoor, but yeah, it's part of the deal. And when it rains down there, when it comes down, I was down there 6 years with UM. When it comes down, it may not be for long, but it comes down and it floods, and the water's got nowhere to go.
At Florida State, we saw them working on it this week at practice. People were not happy.
Hurricane Francine, I believe, is the hurricane that is coming. And listen, we hope Francine just stop. Enough.
Yeah. Well, I got good news that it has been downgraded to a tropical storm.
Okay, so Francine's soft. Got it. We need her to just enough. Okay, we got a big-time weekend that's kicking off.
Go back to C.
Right now. But Miami, there's always a chance for weather. Is there anything else, AJ, that you really think about? Like Michael Lombardi brought up last hour. Jordan Poyer was literally that defense's mouthpiece there for how many, 8 years or something like that?
Yeah, a long time.
I forget what it was. Knows it inside and out. And then he talked about how Jordan Poyer, McDaniel probably sat down this past offseason whenever he joined the Miami Dolphins on a contract. I don't think that many.
No, it was a million.
Yeah, 1 year.
Million.
1 year, $3.
Yeah.
1 year, $3 million or whatever, and sat down, and McDaniel would pepper him probably with questions saying, if we were to late shift into this formation, what is this defense going to check to? So if McDaniel has that information, that feels like quite a advantage for McDaniel, especially with the way he designs plays and shifts late and everything like that, right?
Yeah, I think it definitely can be an advantage. Depends on the player who you're talking to. Now, Jordan Poyer, you can absolutely get an advantage from that guy. He's a super smart guy, like you said. He knows that defense inside and out. There's sometimes when a player was somewhere for 8 months and all of a sudden he goes to another team and people act like they can give all the secrets to. Like, that's usually not the case. You can't get as much value as you think you might.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know what Chuck thinks about that, but I know some players. I've seen some coaches talk to some players that have been on other teams, or I've tried to pepper some of my teammates in the past who had been on like our next opponent's team. Like, okay, I'm getting dumber actually asking this dude questions.
Yeah, no doubt about it. And it's going to be like hand signals and checks and things like that.
Empty checks, things like that.
You know, those types of things. And don't you know, like McDermott, on the other hand, he knows he's there, obviously, right? So he's been in Bobby Babbitt Jr., who's the new play caller for the defense up there. He's been in his ear. They've been talking all week about, okay, Jordan's down there. What could he possibly? When we're playing two, when we're playing quads, when we have a certain hands check, whatever that is, this is what it was. So they may, little counterintelligence.
How often do you guys? How often? Obviously that's a story that's as old as the NFL, seemingly. If a player goes to another team, you're going to try to get information. What AJ just said is hilarious to think about, where AJ goes, all right, so what's their check? And having no idea and being like, okay, that made me dumber, actually. Whenever coaches try to gather information, is it happening with every player? Is it some players? How often is that taking place, you think?
No, to AJ's point, it's not every player. And we've signed guys, and I know teams sign guys off a practice squad, off the street, that have been with guys, bring them in for that week. And everybody's saying, oh, they brought him in just to gather intel, right? Bring your playbook with you. Drop the playbook off, go through it, try to gather as much as you can. May win the game, may not win the game. Players usually gone the next week.
Yeah, that's a real thing that has happened for a long time.
That's real.
Yeah, and whenever the media and fans go, they're only signing them to get information. That's factual. That is, for some of the cases, that is a very factual 100%. Situation, and it's been happening forever, which leads me even more to believe Connor Stallions would do well.
Very well.
In the NFL.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, better than high school.
Yeah. He's getting killed in high school. The boys haven't scored a point.
Well, he doesn't have his team. He doesn't have his guys.
Is he actually? He's not a coach, though, Con man.
Head coach?
He's not a coach.
I
know he was named head coach, but he was a.
Don't put a label on him. He's whatever he wants to be. AJ.
Yeah, I guess we all are, Tone. Technically, we all can be whatever we want. This is America, right?
Well, I mean, I still.
I hope.
Right.
I mean, this Ohio State guy attacking Connor Stallions, I don't love it.
What do we? So.
Yeah,
we need to put brakes on.
Touched a lot of bases there.
He hasn't coached football before. He's been on staffs, but he's had his unique role, whatever he's doing. He's not out there X's and O's coaching the game.
I don't know how he isn't in the NFL already after that Netflix documentary.
Seriously.
I legitimately.
If you could give him a disguise, if you could like plastic surgery and change his name, someone would hire him probably.
Why?
NFL, he didn't get
with the Chargers.
You're right. I mean, maybe an NFL team will bring him.
Oh, he's saying they'd be too embarrassed to even put him on.
You're allowed to advance. You're allowed to advance scout in the NFL, right?
Ty, welcome back, brother.
Thank you. Baby Ty.
Oh.
Ty got too zeked up about the Pizza Hut.
Yeah, he got emotional.
Yeah,
sit down for a second and just kind of collect my thoughts.
How are the thoughts? Thoughts are good?
Yeah, I mean, I'm just waiting for post show. And what I've been told is coming. What I've been promised is coming. Once again, I just like to reiterate that no one out-pizzas the Hut.
Amen.
Joining us now, a man that no one out-footballs.
No.
Mm-hmm.
He's kicking off the NFL season, or NFL Week 2 tonight on Prime. He kicks off college football Saturdays in the morning on game day. This guy is synonymous with the start of another glorious week of football. He's a former president of Ohio. He's looking younger and younger by the day.
Mm-hmm.
He and McConaughey, I don't know what they got going on, but It's working. Ladies and gentlemen, Kirk Herbstreit.
Yay, Kirk!
You know it. You know it.
You're a mess.
Tell him. I told the story. I said I went up to you.
You did. We were just standing right there. You just asked us both.
Excuse me.
What the hell's going on with you guys?
Guys, my face, pruny.
And I said, my mom, I think I got lucky. My mom has good skin.
And then McConaughey told me a lot of lotion.
McConaughey is like, there's my wife, there's me. Who do you think has more potions?
Lotion.
You know, as far as
Potions? Wait, what?
No,
They're drinking potions?
No, lotion. No.
Words are spells, brother. Words are spells, brother.
Now it's not time to get into this. There was lotions. You heard it. It sounds similar. Yeah, lotion.
Lotions.
Yeah,
a lot
absolutely.
of voodoo and witchcraft.
And he said he had a ton more than his own wife.
Yeah, he did. And it makes sense with how handsome he is. And obviously, anything you two are doing, I'm going to try to follow the footsteps of, because I don't know how you become the face of football for 30 years. This guy. Right?
Unreal.
Yeah. All right, Herbie. Obviously, every time we come on, we got to make sure people realize what you've done, how you've done, and your football commitment throughout your life has been in full. Tonight, week 2 of the NFL season kicks off down in Miami. There's been a little Doppler conversation by Boston Connor that has led to AJ Hawk, which has led to an entire chatter here. Are we worried about rain tonight in Miami? Has that even been a conversation piece for you guys as you piece this together?
Anytime I get into the state of Florida in the month of September, the first thing I check is the dew point.
Okay.
And I want somebody to Google and put up on the screen dew point. And what I want you to show after we get through the beautiful graphics of the game tonight.
Great graphics.
What I want you to see is there's different levels. I don't look at humidity anymore. I study the dew point. And all I can tell you is we're at 77% on dew point. That's like off the charts. Sweat. If we were doing college game day, Pat, it would just be flooding off of your chin.
Here's what Google says for what does easy. All right. What does 70 dew point mean? A dew point under 50 means the air is very dry, whereas a dew point between 50 and 60 is often thought as ideal comfort range for most people. Any dew point higher than 61 degrees will begin to make the air feel heavier and more uncomfortable as the level of moisture hanging in the air begins to rise.
The humidity is currently 96.5%.
Oh,
yeah. Dew point at 77 is called oppressive. That's what
Welcome to Miami, Bills. It's going to be a long night.
The reason this is important is what Gumpy just said. I mean, it's a reality for any team that comes down here in September, but especially a team up in New York.
Oh, is there room service? You got Pizza Hut? You got Pizza Hut?
Uh-oh.
You got Pizza Hut?
The Hut.
Ben maybe knocking on the door.
Kirk Herbstreit is in a suite, it does appear. That is a living room. Good for him. He lives well. Especially down there in Miami.
What did he get?
He's giddy. That's Pizza Hut. That's Pizza Hut.
That's right.
That's
Pizza Hut's here.
But to your point, you're talking about.
Yeah, my point is Buffalo's second half. This is going to be really interesting to see how they're just holding up. You know, I mean, if this is a physical game, I heard you guys just talking about the quarterbacks the first week of the season, and we haven't seen a lot of teams able to throw. I think there's a trend there. I heard Mike Lombardi talking about line play, and I think that's been a concern over the last few years. The defenses have an upper hand at the line of scrimmage, but also think, and Coach can talk about this, I think more and more people are using what they did against Kansas City a couple years ago with Mahomes, putting that too high shell and making these quarterbacks be patient, making these pass games that we've seen be prolific for years, run the football, check it down underneath, not give up those big explosive plays. And I think that's no longer just a Patrick Mahomes thing. I think that's an NFL league-wide thing. And I think what's happening is the game is cyclical. So I think now it's going to go back to more at the line of scrimmage. You know, making teams have to get out of that too high shell, run the football, get that safety down. Now you get single high, and then now you can take your shots downfield. But I think you're seeing that. I think you'll see it again tonight. I think teams are concerned. If you're going up against all the speed from Miami, you'd be crazy to play too much man or play a lot of single high. So I think you'll see Buffalo with a lot of new secondary pieces, by the way. I think they'll be smart. They'll play shell, keep everything in front to the best of their ability. You got to tackle. Tyreek Hill in space is tough to tackle, but you do just got to try to keep it in front. Then it comes down to red zone execution. If teams in the red zone, if they can punch it in. Now this is a rare moment last week. One play, 80-yard drive, where he got out and made a big play. But for the most part, they did a pretty good job. Jacksonville did a pretty good job of being able to prevent those big plays and held them to 20 points. That's pretty good effort.
Hey, we just saw your game card. That thing's
Yeah.
legendary.
Oh, hell yeah.
Hey, you don't have to show your exact notes. I don't know if we can make it blurry, but just know that this dude takes so many notes. So many notes. It never stops.
Well prepared.
With the notes.
Well, I talk to a lot of people. I talk to the coordinators.
No. But what I'm saying is, you never use them though. He takes all these notes.
No.
He takes all these notes. I've seen you in there, and he never looks down at it. But he feels obligated to do it at this point, like 20 years into this
weird.
thing.
I got all this shit that I gathered all this intel, all this information. I put it down my board, and I just have a way. I've been doing it 29 years. Everybody uses. I've told you, everybody uses. Modern technology, and I still use a legal pad. Yeah. It's my way of doing it.
To AJ's point, like when I'm doing game day prep in
Centerville.
Centerville Oaks.
Yeah.
Whenever I'm doing game day prep, if I write the stuff down, my brain remembers writing it down.
Yep.
So I think that is a massive piece of it as well.
I think it is. That works for me. I think you have a little bit of like a photographic memory, though.
No.
You do. No, don't AJ, guys, wouldn't you agree? No. I mean, he has a pretty good memory.
For sure.
Yeah, pretty good.
He does.
Yeah, pretty good.
I mean, especially if we go out and have a night out, it's incredible what you remember the next day.
Yeah, a lot of people don't believe it. Yeah, a lot of people don't.
You pay attention.
I mean, holy cow.
Yeah, I'm listening. I think I'm a listener. I think that is.
Oh, you're taking notes.
Well, I like to put myself back.
Mental notes.
Yeah, bingo. I like to put myself back in the situation and then relive it. So I think that is. I enjoy doing that. And in doing so, every moment needs its setup. And who did do that? Oh, it's Chris Fowler. Okay, we got to remember that. Fowler, who once, showcased two lions having sex on his Instagram story.
Yep.
So that needs to be added into the entirety to set it all up, because I had mentioned that to him, and he said, he just thought it was so cool, and then bang, bang, boom, boom, pow. Yeah, I feel like I like to relive moments. That is kind of it.
And it doesn't go away, I don't think. I mean, you're still pulling that thing from Fowler. Like, you lock it in, and it's there.
Yeah, I mean, I got through school without, just the whole, when it stops, it's all over, and we know that. So we're going to try to enjoy it as much as possible. That's why as much CBD that you can get into the brain and into the lungs, for me, it has helped, as opposed to anything else.
Well, you guys really are killing Gus Bradley, huh?
Wasn't me.
Not you guys.
That was Chuck actually kind of started that entire thing.
I mean, what the hell?
That was Lombardi, Herbie.
Yeah, we did not know that was coming.
I mean, he was crushing everybody. I mean, he was.
He said he was a good person, though. He said he was a good man.
Lombo brought out the weed whacker today for sure. I mean, that was he was going right into the shins. I mean, he certainly was. He was, I think, much like you were kind of alluding to there about the offensive line play and the offensive play and some of the decisions that were made. Then you think about what he was saying about Gus. I think a lot of these people from the New England tree, and I assume other places, think that maybe the quality of football is maybe getting a little bit, is starting to maybe a little bit. And then you see a lot of teams not playing in the preseason, so they're not even trying to get better. And then, practice, we can't have as much practice, so we can't get better. So I don't want to say it's old man yelling at clouds, but it is certainly our day vastly different than what's going on currently, seemingly taking place. But a lot of valid points being presented through it all,
it's just the game's changing, obviously, from the time that Mike Lombardi was in it, when the quarterback was more traditional. The game was more traditional. It was 7-step drops. It was playing from the pocket. I mean, now Tua, this is going to be a fascinating game, by the way, tonight. We're very, very, very fortunate to have a divisional matchup like this. I know it's week 2, but for us, it's our opening game.
Let's go. Hey.
You go, Herbie.
You guys did that preseason game. You guys did a test run there for the preseason, Cincinnati and the Colts.
Yeah.
This one's
kind of knocked the rust off in a preseason game, Colts and Bengals. But I do think that this game with Tua, talked with Mike McDaniel yesterday, and we had Miami last year. I just find it interesting. Guppy knows this, but he said from the time they lost in Kansas City, basically last January, to right now, he said that he's had a game-changing offseason as far as how he's carrying himself. Everybody's talking about the halftime speech that he gave last week. And that's a little bit, I guess, to go back in a generation. I was saying in a meeting this morning, if Joe Montana stood up at halftime and kind of laid into his team, that'd be like, whoa, like that's a little different. You're not used to hearing Joe Montana kind of get up and get after some guys. I think that's how the rest of the locker room looked around at Tua. But I think he's really on a different path. He led the league in passing and all that's great. This dude wants to win, and I think being down, I think what's different with Miami is this is now a player-led team. And I think it's a big part of that is what Tua is doing and the rest of these guys are doing. So I'm fascinated to see how Buffalo, who's I heard you guys talking earlier, has had so much success since Josh Allen has been there, how they're able to defend Tua and try to get him out of his rhythm with Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle. And on the other side, Josh Allen, who you guys have on the show all the time, you lose his receivers. Diggs, Gabe Davis, they're basically going to go with more of 12 personnel with 2 tight ends and an entire new room of receivers. I mean, it's kind of cool to see where Josh Allen is going to be tonight. I think his back, by the way, James Cook, incredibly underrated. Nobody really, I think on a league-wide, from a league-wide standpoint, I don't know if he's fully respected the way I think eventually people will. And I think he's just kind of an unknown commodity. But I think the year he's going to have this year could be starting tonight. I think people will really start to appreciate what he can do. But I think with Buffalo now, it's no longer let's get the ball to Stephon Diggs. It's now we got a whole arsenal. And so instead of 17 locking in on one guy, you're going to have to defend the entire Buffalo offense. I think over the long haul, it's going to be tougher offense to defend. And remember, Joe Brady, who took over, they fired Dorsey. He took over in the middle of the year. He's had an entire offseason to try to figure out the answers to who they're going to be. And I think a big part of that's going to be, like I said, the tight ends, the young rookie there that you see, Keon Coleman, Shakur, the slot. They got some pieces. I think they got a shot to have pretty good offense.
And Josh, not scared to run, jumped over a dude last week. I mean, he is a physical freak, always has been, always will be. And, they talk about a lot of players like, hey, you got to slow down, not get hurt. Josh Allen has openly said, I'm going to run for it. If it's available, I'm going to do that.
Play my game.
That is literally who I am. So last week he proved it, and I think he knows that through any good team, especially in the modern NFL with salary cap and everything like that, what players command and how much you can pay everybody, there's going to be different iterations of this Buffalo Bills team. This is a different iteration of this Buffalo Bills team. And it's like Josh Allen is one of the pillars of both of them. It's like, how do you make this team be great? How do you have this team have a chance to go do something that the previous teams haven't done? I think he's going to ball out. I'm very, very excited to watch Josh this season. Go ahead, AJ.
Kirk, we all know that you played quarterback, and it's interesting when you said it could be a tougher offense to defend without some of those pieces they had at receiver. Could it possibly free up a quarterback like Josh Allen to almost have to feel more comfortable in an offense knowing, hey, I'm going to make my reads, I'm going to get to the ball, the open guy, and I don't have to worry about targets as much as I may have in the past?
100%. 100%. And it's nothing against Stephon Diggs. He's the guy. I mean, he was the playmaker. And they went to him, and if and at times just to get him the ball, to get him going, and because you knew how dynamic of a playmaker he was, and now other than Shakir, the slot receiver that they have, Khalil Shakir, other than him, there was nobody in that wide receiver room who'd ever caught a ball from Josh Allen going into the Jacksonville game. That's how young they are and how new the faces are to that room. And everybody knows about Dalton Kincaid and Dawson Knox. The tight ends, I think. You got, as I said, James Cook in that backfield. Those are the names I think they're building this thing around. But I think each week a new name might pop. Like Mac Hollins could hit, on a certain week. Keon Coleman could hit. He made a play down the field. You guys showed that a little bit earlier. Valdez-Scantling could make a play. I mean, they have guys that it's not going to be, we have to get him the ball. I think it makes the defense, they have no idea where it might be going. And I think what they really challenged Josh Allen with is his whole career he's had Cole Beasley or a go-to guy with Diggs, and now he doesn't have that. And so now instead of locking in and feeling like you got to get the ball to somebody, just read the coverage. Read the coverage and distribute the ball. And if it's not there, use your legs. So I think it's going to be fun to kind of see him grow within this structure and just kind of see who this new identity is. By the time we get to, week 4, week 5, you'll start to see maybe Coleman becomes more of a go-to guy. We know the tight ends are a big part of it. So I feel like it's a new era in this Buffalo regime with Sean McDermott. They've been close, obviously, and I think they feel these changes can help them get over the hump.
We talk about Josh Allen maybe feeling a little bit more free and just reading the defense and doing whatever is best for the offense as opposed to focus ball at one side. Let's go to the other side of the field for the Buffalo Bills. Chuck has a question for you, Kirk.
Hey, Herbie, you mentioned some concern. You might have some concerns about the Bills' defense, new pieces, et cetera. They've got a new signal caller, right? And Bobby Babbitt Jr., McDermott came out in preseason, said he's going to call the defenses. Hamlin and Rapp are going to be at safety. The corners have played, right? Razul's been there. Benford's been there. Big loss, Teron Johnson, right? The nickel, number 7. Cam Lewis is a 2019 free agent out of University of Buffalo. He stepped in against Arizona. I guess he had 9 tackles, so he did well. I know there's some runners. Mostert's out. Achan's questionable. They got 2 other guys, Wilson and this Wright kid, the rookie out of Tennessee. But going into this game, how concerned are you about this Bills defense and them coming together and be able to slow down this Miami offense tonight?
No, nobody knows better than you, Coach, that when you take 2 safeties and Hyde and Poyer, who's you guys talked about, they played 7 years together. I mean, think of the communication and what I don't know if fans sometimes realize when it comes to that middle linebacker and 2 safeties, their ability to get things right and make sure everybody's on the same page, how important that is, especially in the NFL when you have 2 guys that work together for that many years. You take both of them out. Forget Miami, just take both of them out. And the coaches told me this week that Taron Johnson was kind of the little brother to those 2 guys. So at least they had him coming back this year. And lo and behold, he's now out, as you said, for this game. So all 3 of their communicators are missing, and here you are going up against Mike McDaniel and Tua and Tyreek Hill and all this offensive firepower. So until we see Taylor Rapp, I mean, you could look at it, DeMar Hamlin, all these guys, they know the system. Rapp's in his 2nd year in the system. Hamlin obviously has been there for a while. Cam Lewis looked great last week. What a story he is. I think he had a rookie tryout to try to just make the team, and he ended up making the team, and now he's a guy that I think understands his position. But, man, it's one thing to play Jacksonville. It's another thing or Arizona. It's another thing to go up against this kind of speed and this kind of timing. The whole thing with Miami is, can you disrupt Tua? Because if you guys watch him closely, he gets back. If they can get the run game going, back, balls out before the receiver makes the cut. They make those glance route cuts, and it's just the timing is beautiful to watch. And you got a lot of and all the pre-snap motion, Coach. You're trying to figure out where's Tyreek Hill, where's Waddle, where's Achan. I mean, there's just a lot of different pieces to try to figure it out. So we'll see. Well, it's going to be fun to kind of watch that game within the game to see how that back end does against these guys.
And Herbie, you've watched it probably more than me. It's all nickel too, right? They're going to play in sub the entire time, right? So if they want to put tight ends out there and they want to play smash mouth and run the ball, I mean, they got, I think Cam Lewis 36. I think he's number 36, right? They
39.
got big tight ends. They got big dudes on those little dudes, and they're not very big at inside linebacker. So if they do want to play on the rock, that could be a problem, right?
Coach, how about, again, we're talking a lot of different pieces, but Milano, again, is out with another injury. He missed most of last year. Of course, a couple years ago, Tremaine Edmonds. So it's a little bit of a different vibe in the inside there. I think they've been pleasantly surprised. He's actually a captain again, Terrell Bernard, coming out of Baylor. He's in his 3rd year. He's kind of become the alpha of this defense. He's undersized, but he can fly around. And Dorian Williams. So when those glance routes and all that stuff between the numbers, those linebackers are going to have their hands full deciphering between run game and getting back on play action and RPO. So if you want to watch a guy, it's the 2 safeties, Rapp, Hamlin, and then 43, Bernard as well.
On that Tyreek Hill touchdown from last week, there's a play action, then there's a built-in pump fake, and then there's a reset, and then there's the shot to Tyreek Hill. And I think Chuck's going to show us some tape a little bit later. They can catch those cover 2 safeties sleeping a little bit, getting distracted, and all of a sudden, I mean, that's a built-in, and then all of that's planned. You know,
all of that
is planned. So it's like,
And all that movement pre-snap is affecting the communication and the adjustments, and puts a lot on the safeties and at Mike linebacker to get everybody positioned. All you got to do is take one step the wrong way against that speed, and it's gone. And look at him take away the angle to Cisco. Goodbye.
See ya.
I mean, that's just... You could be in position and still not have a chance against 10.
And their running back, right? Their running back for rookie running back,
Jalen, right?
Yes,
he's like 4'3" guy too, right?
Dog.
He is, and they took Jalen Wright, the kid out of Tennessee. They said by about week 5 or 6, get ready because that's going to be the next guy that's coming. Achane, they said no one's taken a bigger step than Devon Achane because they can use him now, as you'll see. With Odell Beckham still down, maybe week 6, 7, who knows when he gets back.
8, 9.
But that third receiver in this scheme is really missing right now because of some of these injuries. So Achane is a running back, but they'll motion him out, get him essentially lined as like a slot receiver, and that's another 4-2, 4-3 guy. So once they get Wright going and you get Mostert healthy, it's just speed. It's just more speed than anybody else has.
And right before the snap, there's motion into a random formation. So not only are they motioning late, you have to think quick. It's also the fastest humans on the field are, and you got and AJ's got to go strong.
Left, middle.
Get you on your heels pretty quick.
And then the ball snapped. And then
AJ, they motion like in a 4-3. They're not just like motioning; they are gone.
All kind of weird motion too. Like all these, they come up with unique weird motions too all the time. I feel like that you don't normally see week to week.
And AJ, then also there's the play action. Okay, and I assume their guards are moving up a little bit to sell that. Then there's a built-in pump fake. So now, and then there's the fastest dude on the field, maybe on earth, behind it. It's like, what a weapon! And you spoke highly of McDaniel. Being able to manage all that is a talent in of itself. But boy, it feels like the Dolphins fans, first time, long time, feel like you guys going, hey, you feel like you can do it, huh?
I still worry about no Christian Wilkins because the Jags ran the ball on us last week. That's if we had Wilkins right now, I would be to the moon. But I am worried about no Wilkins still.
Go ahead.
One quick. I'm with you completely. Kalis Campbell comes in. It's obviously older player, but it does give him a big body. Anthony Weaver. I don't know if you know him.
I do.
I'm sure you've been around him over the years. Obviously, a great player in his own right, and has moved around as a coach. Been around some great people. They have 7 new defensive coaches on that Dolphins staff, on just the defensive side alone. They really just started over. Keep in mind, since Mike's been there, they've had 3 defensive coordinators. Josh Boyer, Vic Fangio last year, and now this year with Anthony Weaver. Talking to Jalen Ramsey yesterday, he just said, man, I'm back to moving around. They got me, down close to the ball. Last year, Vic has his system, and it is what it is.
Yeah.
And now I think you're seeing Anthony Weaver. He told me, listen, Jalen Ramsey's a dynamic playmaker. I need him close to the line of scrimmage. Got to free him up, turn him loose, let him make plays. So I'm interested to see how he, against that 12 personnel, how Jalen Ramsey, where is he used? Do they bring him up with that nickel spot? Sometimes he can play there. They'll move him all over the field, which is back to what he used to do before last year. And I think he's very, very happy about that.
They'll blitz him too, right?
Yeah.
That's the thing. You come from that Baltimore system. I know those players are going to love Weave. He's an all-star. He'll do a great job, obviously, down there. But those players, they're going to love the system. Just to your point about freeing guys up, letting guys do things that they normally don't have an opportunity to do. It'll be fun to watch.
Is that Winks? That's Winks. Wink.
He was.
Is he the OG?
That's what he said. Boy,
Herbie and I could go into this. Now, that system, that was there a long time before I ever got there, and a long time before a lot of us got there.
Whoa.
Is that right?
Rob, is it? Rob and Wink and I were with Rob Ryan in Oakland, so we got pieces of it because it came from New England.
Oh, is that right?
Because he was up there in New England. Okay. Then when
Where'd it come from?
When I went to Baltimore, it was with Rex. Rex had it in Baltimore, but before Rex, Marvin Lewis, Jack Del Rio. You can go on and on and on and on.
Yeah, well, Wink's going to get turned around in Michigan. I believe in Wink. Same with everybody else. That was a tough one against Texas. Speaking of, Connor has a question for you.
Yeah, Herbie. Obviously, Texas went into Michigan and just beat the shit out of the Wolverines. I mean, it wasn't even close from the start. Granted, when it was 0-0 maybe, but even then, not really. Are they the biggest threat to Georgia, would you say, Texas? Or is this just one of those situations where SEC still kind of levels above the middle tier Big Ten, which Michigan is now because they lost so many people?
Hey, congrats on your Pats win week one. I was over there and watched that. That was tough to watch for the Bengals, but the Pats just, that was a page torn from Bill Belichick's book. The way they played that. Yeah, that was nice for you guys. I think it's obvious right now that Georgia and Texas kind of look like they're at a different level. It's very hard to evaluate Ohio State because they haven't played anybody yet. They look the part. So it's not, I guess, fair to count them out. I think we'll find out when they play ties to Iowa Ball Club, and then when they go out to Eugene, where obviously you'll learn a lot more about where Ohio State is. I think their defense, Ohio State's defense, is really, really good. The question is, will Will Howard be able to go to Eugene and be able to win in that kind of atmosphere? But I think those three teams, at least on paper right now, appear to be a cut above. Georgia looked the way we felt about Texas last week. I think that's how we felt about Georgia week one. But man, it's so early. I mean, Alabama and Ole Miss, we don't really know. Look at Missouri. By the way, look at those. I know you guys like to promote the SEC, but look at the SEC there.
SEC, ESPN. This is Kirk Herbstreit football. Jeez.
No, I'm just saying. How many are there up there?
Yeah, 1, 2, 4, 5, 6, and 7 are all SEC.
And to be clear, none of us are associated with the AP when it comes to college. Tone is associated with the AP and the NFL.
So. No, how dare the AP? They're SEC biased. The coaches in the AP.
SEC AP.
It's ridiculous.
Whoa.
It's bowl.
Whoa. Didn't know that.
Check the coaches poll. Are they biased too?
Yeah.
They must have those teams up there. But the beauty of the 12-team playoff is it's wide open, and it's kind of like the NFL with Chuck. I mean, it's about getting hot late in the year and getting into that top 12 and then getting on a run, So it's, I think those first two or three have definitely emerged, but anybody with a good quarterback and a team that stays healthy can win it.
Yeah, speaking of that, a team with a good quarterback, seemingly, and if they stay healthy, they can win it. You mentioned them there briefly when talking Big Ten. Go ahead, Tone.
Yeah, Herbie, Oregon's 2-0, but they have dropped to almost out of the top 10 after a close win to Idaho and Boise, and Genty ran for almost 200 last week against Oregon. Gabriel's got good stats, but it looks like they're lacking explosive. Their O-line hasn't been as good as in the past. What's your level of concern for Oregon? Or do they have enough time to get it right before Ohio State comes to town?
Yeah, I mean, I think, Tone, they definitely have enough time to get it right. I don't know. Bo Nix meant so much to that team. You can never underestimate what a great leader can mean to a football team's focus. And there's been so much preseason hype with Oregon. I'm sure Dan Lanning is doing his best to get these guys to lock in, to respect the opponent. Boise's a dangerous team anytime you play them. But they don't look like they have the same fight that they had last year. It's only 2 games, but I think they should stop listening and reading their press clippings and get focused on work, because remember when they played Nebraska early in the year last year, and Dan got some negative press from some people, not us, but some people, because he said they're about clicks and we're about, whatever he said. We're about
Colorado, not Nebraska.
Colorado. Yeah, Colorado. I apologize.
Okay.
They're about clicks and we're about hitting people, kind of thing. Yeah. And I just thought that's who they were. They kind of played with a chip on their shoulder all year long. They couldn't get it done against Washington twice, but they had a bit of a nastiness about them. I haven't seen that yet from this team in these first 2 games. They look like they're more about, hey, we'll turn it on when we get to whoever, and that'll eventually catch up to them unless they get this thing turned around. They have the ability. They can win as many games as they want, but they got to get their mind right.
All right, tell me about South Carolina this weekend. Obviously, there's calls for rain, I think, but who knows how that all ends up. Thinking about the flight in there, getting popped out of
look out.
Getting popped out of the sky.
Dew Point.
Dew Point's going to be thick, obviously, down there in South Carolina. I have heard, and I got a chance to experience it a little bit last year in Charlotte, whenever North Carolina and South Carolina played to kick off College Game Day. The South Carolina fans, real deal. Huh? I mean, this is about to be a hell of a town to be in on a massive college football Saturday, Kirk Herbstreit?
Oh, my God, yeah. I mean, South Carolina, they fill up their stadium. I remember a year they didn't even win a game, and they were sold out every game. They're a very underrated, passionate fan base. They will be there. They're really wound up. The College Game Day is going to be there. They're really wound up about the Gamecocks knocking off Kentucky. They're excited now that they got LSU. They got a big stage. Noon on ABC, all eyes watching. This is why you're at a place like South Carolina, to try to build it back up, to show people that they can win these kind of games. So it'll be hyped. You know, I think Darius Rucker might be swinging by. You know,
you and me, we come from different worlds. I cannot wait. I only want to be with you.
Was that the Fever game last night?
Darius Rucker?
D-Ruck, yeah.
What?
Yeah.
He's in Indiana?
For sure. I found that out this morning.
And Dolphins make him cry.
I had him up on the big screen.
And there's nothing.
How's your ball club doing?
Fantastic. Tough
lost
loss.
the Aces last night as Asia Wilson broke the season points record.
Already clinched playoff berth. We're already in the dance. Let's just get there and let's get it done.
First time, long time. Fever have been in the playoffs.
When's the playoffs? When's that season end?
2 weeks from now.
Oh, okay. Two. The playoffs start in 2 weeks?
Mm-hmm.
2.
Right in the middle of football season.
Look out for the Fever to get hot. You know?
Yeah, because Fever might get the flu around here.
It might be a lot of, check the forehead. What is it? Oh, it's Caitlin Clark going for 30.
Where are they? Are they ranked? Are they high in their league and their standings?
I believe they're kind of lower tier for getting into playoffs because of a slow start. Remember, pre-Olympic break Fever, post-Olympic break Fever, 2 different teams. Caitlin got a chance, I think, to maybe study and learn a little bit more. And then Aaliyah Boston, too, not on. So you're talking post-Olympic break Fever.
Hot. Yeah, we're rolling.
Who's the team you got to beat there?
The Aces, they're one of them. New York is another great team.
Aces in the Libs.
Getting a chance, Liberty.
Here we go, right here. Here we go.
Here.
Go
ahead.
What's the name of your team?
The Fever, who just did the whole Heat thing.
6 seed right now.
Kirk, this is what I'm talking about whenever we talk about this guy's got a photographic memory. Now, just listen. It's something that clearly hasn't happened here in the last 15 seconds. The Fever are the team that represent Indiana.
Wow, look at the Liberty. Look at the Liberty, will you?
That's a good
Well,
spot.
I actually did get a chance to look at the Liberty whenever they played against the Fever in the first week of the season. And I put out a tweet that said, wow, how does anybody beat the Liberty? Turns out not a lot of people do. Okay.
No.
So that was actually a pretty good question. They lose in the finals last year to the Aces. So Liberty, kind of a Georgia Bulldog outfit right now. A
little bit.
Losing to Alabama in the SEC Championship. They got a lot.
I'm going with Liberty for on a revenge tour.
B-Stew is obviously insane. Sabrina over there, very good. And they have a lot of motivation to win this. But the Aces, they're smoking cigars at the end of every season, seemingly. They seemingly are the Patrick Mahomes operation here.
Most points in the season
I
for
got
Asia
it.
Wilson last night.
So that is
Good ball club.
But the Fever, don't look now. They figured it out.
Yes, they did.
Somebody would have said that early, but
I was at that game last night. There you got a bunch of
went
dogs,
too, Chuck?
Herbie, the Aces.
great environment too.
Yeah.
Oh, my. No, that's a unbelievable
Thanks for the
barn.
invite, Chuck.
Great barn. Loud,
Hey, when
loud
they play,
house.
do they do best 3 out of 5? Is it like the NBA? Like how do they do the series?
Yeah, it's like the NBA.
Okay, I have to be dialed in now that I got a little education there. I'm dialed in.
We've been following along. Haven't talked much about it, for obvious reasons. But we'll continue to obviously hope that Indiana beats everybody.
And they will.
And they will. Yeah, because CC's got it figured out.
Hell yeah, brother.
CC's got it figured
I
out.
run away.
And shout out to Christy Sides, the head coach. There was calls for her firing in the first 2 weeks of the season because Caitlin Clark wasn't, MVP of the league in the first 2 weeks. Christy Sides got to figure it out. Olympic break, once again. We're all the way back.
Yeah, they figured it out.
She's figured it out. Great coach. Great coach.
Okay.
Hopefully they go on a run.
Caitlin.
All right.
Let's go, Fever. Let's get hot here.
Let's go, Fever. Here we go.
Get hot.
Let's stay hot here. They're going to lose the champs every once in a while when history is being made. Obviously, the basketball universe is going to do that. Playoffs, different animal. I'll see you down in South Carolina. Enjoy the Dew Point tonight in Miami, brother.
I'm going to do my best. Hoping for a good one.
Sweaty Kirk Herbstreit and Al Michaels on the call this evening in Miami. Ladies and gentlemen, Kirk Herbstreit.
Yeah, Kirk.
Yeah. I run hot, as does Herbie. So I was very thankful that he does because he's already got it figured out for game day about the air conditioning tubes underneath the set.
Yeah.
So my first year on the show, they didn't have as many air conditioning tubes because even when it's like 60 degrees, 55 degrees, Herb Street sweats a little bit. I am a similar operating human being. So as soon as I see what he has set up, I'm like, need one of those.
Now.
Like, all right, we'll build that into the set for next year. Ruhlman and the entire game day team have me plugged in.
Love it.
I got a fan. It is a perfect setup this year, but that only happens because Kirk runs hot as well.
Yeah.
And there's already been an answer found, which I'm thankful for. And I can't wait to get down to South Carolina. I think you're calling for rain, so
Yeah, a little bit. It's supposed to be cool at least, because if it
50%
wasn't raining, it'd be very hot.
Yeah, so we'll see how it goes. Hopefully Francine's soft. You know?
Sounds like it so
That's
far.
what we're hoping for. And hopefully tonight there's a phenomenal game. Chuck Pagano will make his pick on ESPN Plus, YouTube, and TikTok Live, which is where this show will continue. Sports Center with Matt Berry, I do believe, will be in about 7 minutes. Tonight's awesome. Tomorrow's going to be even better. Be a friend, tell a friend something nice that might change their life. We'll see you tomorrow. Goodbye. Yeah, that was...
There you go.
Got it all.
McGuire.
Yeah.
Leg up. Yeah, leg up.
Shohei.
Bam.
I'm actually in the batter's box with one leg up.
Yeah.
Karate Kid.
That's the best way to do it.
Soto. Soto.
That would be sweet.
That's what Soto does?
Did that last night.
He
had leg up in batter's
The
box.
whole time?
No, he doesn't do that.
That'd be so cool. You walk in that son of a... You walk into that batter's box.
Just hold it.
Yeah. Yep.
yeah, I mean, you
just
could
hang
do
it
that.
hang it over the plate like that too.
What's up? What's up, dude?
One curveball.
Bam.
What do you mean one curveball? I'm seeing it.
I mean, I would hope. I think it'd be tough. I think it'd be tough.
Baseball's happening right now.
Yeah, apparently.
Yeah, big time. This is
Baseball
when it matters.
Yeah, baseball matters right now.
Yeah, sure. Been hearing that for a while.
There's Soto.
Soto didn't do anything close to what I was doing.
No.
No, he had both feet planted.
I was just
through
talking
earth.
about the thing. You hit it out of the park. I was just talking about the
home
end
run.
result.
Oh, with the
Yeah.
Okay, you're talking about the hard out.
Yeah, like a Kobe.
Out of the
shot.
park.
Okay,
Yeah.
home run.
Soto.
Bomb. How about him twisting his feet, powered through the earth there, gone. And that's a Ty.
Ty's got some.
What a day. What a day for Ty. Legit
The highest of highs.
wild day for Ty. We'll see him tomorrow. Excited to see how that all unfolds.
Everything's good.
Everything's good. We think.
Hopefully.
The Pizza Hut announcement, this is years in the making for Ty. So for him to have to leave middle of show.
Oh, boy.
Yeah. I bet you
tough.
Ty is currently in the middle of a struggle that's happening. Everything going to be okay, but like just the timing of it all. Didn't dump his pants.
No.
He's going to do his best to get back for that hut. I promise you that.
Yeah, I agree. Had to go do something. No one out pizzas the hut, Ty.
Amen.
No one out for that.
And the people he sees are going to know that.
All right, let's take a break. On the other side, we'll make our official picks for this evening. Coach Chuck Pagano will have his breakdown with film on why he's picking, who he's picking. We can all become more informed gamblers. We'll also wrap up all the storylines that we've not hit today, which has been a lot. Lamar Jackson off the injury report feeling good. Nick Bosa's chit-chatting about the Jets and the Vikings, which is certainly fascinating. And then, Cam Taylor-Britt of the Cincinnati Bengals chit-chatting about his feelings towards the Chiefs. And then we have some journalistic standards to uphold.
Yep,
All right. Be a friend, tell a friend something nice that might change their life. Take 5.
Bye.
I had no idea what to expect whenever I came out here to Utah. Drop that.
Yeah,
Wait,
don't get
drop
the
that. Shock. I can't make it. Steve Smith Sr. Ladies and gentlemen, Pac-12 champion, head coach of the Utah Utes football team, pulling in on a Harley-Davidson Sportster, I do believe. Coach Kyle Winning.
Lot of blessings piling up that I ain't even wished for. None left over for y'all. I'm locking the fridge door at the crib, cutting hits. I read through the catalog, came to conclusion, no one's touching this. Just finished the maiden voyage, hopping off the Mayflower. Said I'm shot to kill them off, whatever it take. Now seen the boats, I'm at home. I'm selfish with the goals.
I mean, you got to do it. It is 34 degrees out here in the back-to-back Pac-12 champions. Mighty Utah student section has been here in abundance. They've been loud. In today's a day where they showcase to the world that it's not just Mormons and soaking in Utah. No. It's great football and an incredible fan base. They've been so kind. I appreciate the hell out of you all. Have you ever thought something negative about a kicker before in your entire life?
Yes.
All right, relax, dude. Okay. Boston Connor was drinking with Dwayne Wade last night. $225,000. Let's remember this day forever, Cameron. You know that 29 out of the last 30 home games that happens right here at the University of Utah, the Utah Utes win. Cam Rising said yesterday, we don't lose at home, and today, they ain't losing. This place is going to be soaking in celebration this evening.
You guys were absolutely phenomenal. This morning, you showed everybody that this is a town you don't want
I am jacked, dude.
Lighting's great.
Let's go to the phones. Let's go to Dan in Connecticut. Lovely place here on the 5 Energy phone line. What's going on, Dano?
Oh, what's up, Pat McAfee?
Dan, you are too young to listen to this show. I can tell. I think. How old?
I'm not Dan. I am Owen.
Mitt. Owen, how old are you?
It's so different.
I am at 8.5.
Oh, that's cute.
8.5.
If you're telling us you're half age, you're too young to be listening.
That's a record.
It stinks.
What's on your mind, pal?
What do you want to talk about, Owen?
I want to talk about how inspiring this show is and how you're inspiring this whole entire world with how you're talking about sports and how you're talking about your life experience.
Thank you, Owen.
Owen, thank you.
Love you, Owen.
Thank you,
Owen. I'm taking her on
and
the
also, fuck Boston College.
I will let Owen know, if you're still listening, Owen, you're inspiring.
Best kid ever.
Oh, and the way you talk about sports is inspiring.
Yes.
I didn't know 8.5 could do that.
Wow.
Shout out Owen.
That time.
Go, Owen.
Hey, Owen. New generation in Connecticut, I guess.
He was making me feel good, too, by the way. He was making me feel good, making the show feel good. He was talking us up. He was hyping us up, and then boom, a little.
Was this Aristotle's brother?
A little misdirection from Aristotle's brother, Owen, at 8.5 there. That was awesome.
I'd say he put his balls on your forehead, but I don't think they dropped yet.
There is a crowd of about 30 people moving through the back end of the business field here. And in the middle of it is this black Samoan man who has become the most famous human on earth.
Great guy.
Ladies and gentlemen, the GOAT, Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. There's thousands and thousands of people skipping class to come see your big ass.
Listen, there is thousands and thousands of you skipping class. It doesn't matter if they go to class.
Moana is one of the best animated films of all time.
What?
Okay? Can't wait for the live action.
Thank you, yes.
But
You're welcome.
We talk about Mana.
What can I say except you're welcome?
And we talk about Mana.
Honestly, listen, kid, I could go on and on. I could explain every natural phenomenon. The tide, the grass, the ground. Oh, that was Maui just messing around. I could have like buried its guts, sprouted a tree, now you got coconuts. What's the lesson? What does it take away? Don't mess with Maui when he's on a breakaway. And the temperature here on my skin is a map of the victories I win. Look where I've been to make everything happen. Look at the me Maui just tickety-tapping. That's it.
Still got it.
On the Samoan side, Polynesian side, we have a word called mana. Mana is spirit. Mana is power. Mana comes from in here. It's the thing that gives you goosebumps. It's that thing you feel. It's that thing when I walked out and we felt this thing. This is mana. This is mana. It's very, very, very real, and you could feel it. Mwah. Little things like I don't get driven anywhere. I don't want to get driven anywhere. I don't like chauffeurs. Keeps me in my way just a little grounded. Like I could drive myself everywhere and not telling some guy, hey, take me here, take me there.
That is something I'm going to start saying, like, yeah. Because when they open your door, you feel so bad. I can open my own door, dude. They're trying to be courteous. It's their job. But also, the day I stop opening my own door is the day I become a big old bitch.
Here we go.
That's a big cup.
Sorry, Mike. And here's the iconic sound. You guys know it. This special Terramana toast goes out to Passion. Congratulations on your show. Very proud of you. Very proud of all you boys. And to all of you, love you guys. Thank you for the support. Keep kicking ass. Cheers. In my world, when I sit down and we're talking about movies and all this other shit, it's never this. It's never this, back with the boys, and you. So I appreciate it, and this one's to you. Thank you, boys.
See you, pal. Cheers.
Thank you.
All right, we're going to take a 5-minute break here.
Oh, hold on, one more. If you smell what The Rock is cooking.
Hey.
Why?
Let's go. This show stinks, and the fact that you listen, we are very, very thankful for it.
McAfee on the line with a gorgeous assist.
The all-time leading tackler for the Green Bay Packers, you pig! Damn it! Be a friend, tell a friend something nice could change their life. Hello, beautiful people, and welcome back to our humble abode, the Thunderdome, on this NFL Week 2 kickoff Thursday, September 12th, 2024. Hour 3 of the program starts now. Football! He's the greatest. That's AJ Hawk right there. The Toxic Table is being represented by Boston Connor. One half of the Hammer, Dahn. Cowboys AP. Tone is here. Tone, before we dive into this hour of breakdown and conversation, where do we stand with the bets and the money on this evening's Thursday Night Football? Week 2 of the NFL season kickoff between the Bills and the Miami Dolphins.
I'm still seeing 2.5s across the board as far as the spread. At all books now, it's 2.5.
Miami's favorite.
Yes, Miami's favorite at home. 73% of the bets are on the Buffalo Bills. 55% of the money is on the Miami Dolphins.
Okay, AJ, when you hear that, what do you think?
I don't know, man. I don't know what I know. You guys each like you don't want to. If too many of the public is on a team, you guys hate that, don't you?
Yes, because the sports.
I don't really care. I don't like to get swayed by what other people are doing when it comes to this kind of situation.
Okay, I can respect that, and the only reason why we say that and why most people say that is because the sports books have a lot of money. And they have won a lot. You know, they say the house always wins. That is very true whenever it comes to sports gambling in the sports books. So whenever there's like a massive number of public people being like, this is it, and the number doesn't move and nothing really happens, that's the sports books being very comfortable that is not it. Now, granted, there has been 80% public bets hit before in the last 2 years. That is not seemingly an outlier anymore that has taken place. But I just always assume the sports books are going to win. Like, that's just how I kind of view it.
They know, yeah. When it comes to the spread, everything, yeah. It is unbelievable how accurate they can be. So, yeah, maybe I should take that into account and further, in the future.
That's just how I feel. Like, I just feel that way. You don't have to feel that way because I have obviously not felt this way in the past, and I've been one of the 85% and one of the 90% and said these sports books don't know. Not on this night, not yada, yada. And then I lose. Yeah. And then I lose. And then I'm like, this seems to be a gimme, a handout. Like, for instance, in a Super Bowl, Patrick Mahomes is going to throw for at least 225 yards, right? Especially if they're going to win the Super Bowl, and he's going to throw a touchdown. And then 200 and some thousand people are going to ride alongside of that particular bet. And we were going to hit the biggest group bet in the history of sports gambling. But instead, he doesn't throw for that many yards somehow, even though he throws it all over the field, and they win the game. It's like once you get to that point, you just start thinking naturally, sports books have it figured out.
They know.
They know what's going to happen and how things get going. So anytime it's 70-some%, that is obviously a little bit of a, okay, let's go ahead and think about it. But they've been wrong before.
All the time.
Now, joining us in studio all day on Thursdays, all season long, 36 years as a football coach, 18 in college, 18 in the NFL. The most honorable Paisan at the Paisan celebration, Chuck Pagula.
Yeah, Coach.
All right, Coach, let's get into it. You have been very successful picking Thursday night football games for us, and we are very thankful for it. Now, we make picks as well, me and AJ. Last week, I beat AJ by a few, but we're so early in the season, this thing could certainly, a lot, yeah. But this week, I could be over. I mean, that's how this kind of goes. That's kind of how it's been over the past couple of years.
Yeah.
But you have been hot on Thursday nights. What are we looking at? How do we feel about it? And ultimately, who are we picking to cover this evening?
Yeah,
Buffalo, Miami, Chuck.
I just think it's kind of odd talking about the numbers and, the books and the public, this, that, and the other. AJ, like, you're getting the Bills and 2.5 points when they've just dominated. Like, Josh Allen is 6-1 in his last 7 games versus these dudes, right? Tua can't beat him. He's obviously their kryptonite down there. So in the last 7 games, 68% completion rate, over 2,000 passing yards, AJ, 19 touchdowns to only 4 interceptions, 7.7 per attempt, 11.2 yards per completion. So the guy has been an absolute stud. All he does is win down there. He's not concerned about any fucking dew point. I can tell you that. He played at the University of Wyoming, where the elevation, when you go to that stadium, it says welcome to 7220. That's 7,220 feet elevation. Same university, same stadium that I played at.
Wow.
Yeah.
So
The Cowboys. Now, a mile above sea level.
5280.
Bingo. And this is 7220?
7220.
Balls fly so far there.
Chuck it.
Oh, my God. I couldn't even fathom it.
It's always windy there, too.
Yes. There's no trees.
That's 'cause you're at the
And
foothills.
The reason there's no trees because they won't stand up. So I just don't understand. Like, I'd have a really hard time, like, not taking the Bills and the points in this one. Just looking at his record. Now you look at Miami, right? Offensively, yeah.
I feel like we always hear coaches say, and I think Belichick has said it, that each year is different. Do you not agree with that, or is it just because Josh Allen, he's the same guy, the Bills still have the same quarterback, that it's not this year isn't different? Every
year is different. Every team is different. These rosters turn over at a greater clip than ever before with free agency, this and it's like college and the portal. But I do feel we've talked about, like, this Bills offense, like, what's that saying? The sum of the parts is always greater than the
sum of the pieces, some of the whole
right?
is the combination of some of the parts.
Strength of the package.
And then,
strength.
And then I think, not to take anything away from Stephon, Diggs, but it's like addition by subtraction. AJ talked about it. Hollins, Khalil Shakir, Boise Stater, 5th rounder, right? He's a stud. He's an absolute stud. This rookie, Keon Coleman, he's going to be an absolute stud. You got Cook in the backfield. You got the 2 tight ends. So I just think he's going to be able to go through his progression, spread the ball around. He's not worried about getting the ball to one dude, and those guys, I think they play better as a unit, looking at that. Miami, we're going to look at some plays from Miami. We know how explosive they are. I mean, they are, like we used to tell, when you play guys like Tyreek and you play guys like Waddle.
It's from last year. This from last year with Tyreek Hill.
GTFB. You know what GTFB stands for, Coach?
Get the fuck
back.
Okay. How come?
Why? Well, we're going to find out. So you see, the cheetahs highlighted up top, right? I can still work this deal. You got
absolutely, you got it.
So cheetahs, this is 2023 against Denver. I think they hung 70 on these Broncos this day. So they're playing what? They're playing a too high shell. They're going to end up playing, quarter, half. They're going to try to get a reroute on this guy and play halves to him. Hey, just put a safety over the top of him, get a jam on him, get a reroute on him. All right, play quarters away. Hey, he's not going to go there. You take him away, right? But they've got this glance concept off the play action pass. It's waggle pass, pull a guard, motion a guy out, all the stuff that we talked about. All right, and Tua, go ahead and run it, Pat. Go ahead.
Uh-oh.
Stop it right there. See what he's looking at? Yep. So what he does is he draws the attention of 32 and Surtain, Pat Surtain, right? All over this wide receiver to the defensive left. Mind you, Tyreek's up top, right? So they get him to suck down on this. They get two players.
Hell yeah.
Right? And if you could just get one guy on this, now watch what happens. And we got a deep safety over the top up here, right? Uh-oh. So you tell him you got to play with a lot of depth. Well, this kid, it doesn't matter the angles you end up taking. This is, and he just outruns you to the end zone. So let's fast forward.
Jeez. Hold on. Look at how much room this guy had.
How deep was that safety? How deep was that deep safety?
We call it black line, AJ. You can't even see him. He's so deep on the tape.
Wow.
And then you'd say, hey, he's deep enough to take a great angle. Not against this freak.
Not against this.
He is a freak.
That's true.
No, and so fast forward to last week, week 1, same setup, a lot of 21 personnel, a lot of whistles and belt, eagle motion, right? Go ahead. Watch Tua take a peek. Boom.
Two Tyreek.
Get two DBs to suck up and take care of that. So you don't get what you want to have, like on the Denver one and this picture right here. You'd love to have one guy squeeze this backside receiver where he looks, right? And then take the other one, get plenty of depth and shove. So you each have a deep bracket on that guy. But they're so good at this, they get these two guys to suck up on this. And I believe this one's Waddle, isn't it?
Yep.
Yeah, this is Waddle.
That's Waddle.
This is Waddle.
Tyreek's down below.
So he does the same thing. He looks, pumps. Remember you said, hey, look, little pump, reset. Why is he resetting?
Wow.
Because he's got this dude running away from the defense.
True. And the Bills are going to run cover 2 tonight. That's what it sounds like everybody's
yes, they are.
thinking.
They're going to play 2 shell.
But this seems to be a cover 2 beater, especially if your guy just pays attention a little bit to the crosser.
Absolutely. And it's not like you're getting pass rush, because you end up rushing 4 with this concept, and they're going from run technique converting to pass rush, which is next to impossible. You see all these guys, nobody's near the guy. Look at the pocket. So it's
backers
really hard.
Get sucked up too, Chuck. Yeah, backers get sucked up too. So yeah,
and
you got plenty of options.
So what?
Hey Jay, you know how hard it is to turn. They tell you, hey, turn and run and let the ball hit you in the back of the head, right?
Yeah, yep. Tampa too.
Yeah.
And they just
not with Tyreek though. You're not even going to be close to that ball.
Or Waddle.
Mm-hmm. He's got burned.
Yeah.
And then they got 4-3 and 4-2 in the backfield. Mm-hmm. They got 4-3 and 4-2.
But you're right, Chuck. They're running this out of what? 21 person? Is that what this is?
21 personnel.
Man, so you're always the threat of the run, and then all of a sudden, if you do start sitting back on this, hopefully they want to gas you with the run.
And they're out. They got Mozart out. Achane, is questionable for tonight. They got those 2 young guys we talked about. But if it's me, I mean, these are the explosive plays, right? These are the killers. You got to make these guys earn everything tonight, and make them go the long hard way, and see if they don't mess it up along the way.
Jeez.
But
then they got the run game as well, right?
And then you got the run game. So this is against the Giants last year. This is going to be Achane. All right, it's Shanahan's, stretch cut. Mike Shanahan to Kyle Shanahan. McDaniel, we know, came from that system. It's the stretch cut. Get the defense running, get the offensive line running, put a foot in the ground, and get rolling. So run this thing back, Pat, to the beginning. One thing that the motion does, especially the jet motion, it used to be with nickel and change of strength motion that you could run the nickel across because of the pace of the motion. So it'd go from strong right to strong left and vice versa. Well, with jet motion, what we ended up doing is you have to bump. So you get a big guy out of the box and you get a smaller guy in the box. And this motion here gets Simmons back in the box. They're playing with little people as it is. Oh. Buffalo, like we mentioned with Herbie on there, they're going to play with small people. They always match every personnel group except probably goal line 32 personnel, whatever, with bigger people. So as soon as this thing happens, first thing that happens, they're playing these 2 tackles inside head up, so they get reached. All right, this tackle is going to take a zone step, this left tackle for Miami, take a zone step just in case Thibodeau wants to dive underneath and run a gap charge. Well, he stays outside, so he turns it up. And so right here, as soon as stop it right there. So they got the defensive front cut off. They're kicking number 5 out, Thibodeau, right? And then they got all big guys on these linebackers. There's one real linebacker, the inside guy. Simmons, we know, is a hybrid. So they got a hat on a hat. Now, imagine being deep safety right here.
McKinney.
And you could get a Mack truck through this hole, and then you got Achane, you're staring him down, and you're supposed to break down and slide and get this guy on the ground. Good fucking luck.
Yeah, that's the beauty of this offense.
And you're done.
And it's over. But let's go back to the motion that is so vital to everything. And everybody's trying to do the Miami Dolphins motions. Like this, they've changed the game. Like there's some people that come in and they change the way people do things. The Miami Dolphins jet motions, how late to the snap that they do it, has changed football. A lot of people trying to do it. A.J. Hawk, middle linebacker, takes one step. Okereke, he literally takes one false step and then he can get reached. That is. Oh, yeah. That's literally all it takes. And how could you not take that false step? This hop right here, boom, left, right, because this guy is going this way.
Center's eyeballing him already. Just all he's got to do is basically set a pick on him and just hold him up just for a quick second here.
So he's already half a hop out of leverage. And it's like just immediately, for somebody that is not involved in a play at all, it's like all of the eye candy and then the technique and the way they kind of piece it all together is why this Dolphins offense is so awesome. And Chuck Pagano says the Miami Dolphins plus 2.5, give me that. That's what you're saying, even though we just watched this entire thing.
You know what?
Waffling week 2.
No. I don't know.
He's looking at Achane.
He's watching him go.
Change his mind, though. Good for Chuck. Chuck's not stuck in his views.
I think maybe before we make a decision, our final decision on that, maybe we ought to check out Josh Allen a little bit, or no, we just feel like we don't have to look at any of his highlights?
Well, I don't have any of them here in this particular iPad, but we definitely have Josh Allen highlights. If you'd like to watch some Josh Allen highlights to see how you're feeling. Now, remember, we just saw Waddle, Achane, and Tyreek Hill, and Tua.
And a little bit of the pump, in the play, reset.
The design, play action.
Yeah. Jet motions.
We need a reset so I can throw the ball further.
Yeah.
In that entire thing. Let's watch a little Josh Allen highlight, shall we, Chuck? See if you want to get back on board.
It's one thing when you put an extra guy in the box to stop the run, to stop James Cook, right? But anytime the quarterback can run, anytime they design quarterback runs, you don't have the extra defender. So 8 in the box, heavy, all that goes out the window. Here's a zone read play where he's just reading the end man on the line of scrimmage, and that guy's sitting in a quandrum because you got a good back, so he's got to honor that. And you got this guy who's 6'5", 250 pounds, and runs 4.6.
And lowers his shoulder.
And he'll run you over, he'll run around you, or he'll jump over you to get in the end zone. So this is such a dynamic part of this offense, what this player is. Anytime you face and you try to defend an offense, it's got a mobile quarterback, he's got the arm that he has, and then the design quarterback runs.
See that on the bottom, though? It's funny that we're running this play because look at there on the bottom.
Look at Football Universe.
Achane, 3 catches, 58 yards.
We're talking about him running. What about him catching?
Whoa. Both teams down 14 at the time.
Yeah, and both teams have come back and win. Now they're on
He's
Thursday
got a
football.
bad ankle. He had a high ankle sprain coming out of the first game. Achane, he hasn't practiced. You don't practice anyway on a short week. Pat, you know that. Yep. AJ, you know that on a short week. It's hats, right? Turn around back, walk through, heel, treatment, rest, all that kind of stuff. Quick deal.
Waffling back.
This is so we can all tell what coverage is Arizona playing.
2.
What?
Man.
We're on the 12-yard line. Cover what?
I was about to draw.
When you say man, what's it look like? 0.
I was about to draw the arrows on this thing. Couldn't find it. It's not in the thing. I was so excited. I was so excited to start doing the eyeballs.
So you're going to get 0. They're going to bring one more than these guys can protect.
See, I saw 2 in the back there. I would have fucking immediately threw the pick.
But you tell those defenders, get your ass heavy inside. If you're going to get beat, you got to get beat outside, right? And so he hit Hollins across this. Look at this, rip this ball. And where the defense screwed up, can we learn a little bit from the defense?
You tell me.
Can we run this back?
If you're blitzing 0, Chuck, you got to go. If you're coming, you got to get up there.
AJ, so the whole deal is this cap right here.
It's Buddha.
Go ahead and run it back.
Look at the play clock, too. Look at the play clock whenever he starts moving.
Oh,
Absolutely.
you're right.
But
yeah.
the thing is, when you're running zeros, if your guy is in the core, that tight end, would we all say that tight end to the right, is that Knox, 88?
Yeah, that's Knox.
He's in a grave digger. He's hanging right by the tackle. So we got to assume, AJ, that he's in protection, right?
Yeah.
Based on where he's at, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if you're going to bring one more, then they can block. He's got to be at the line of scrimmage, and him and this edge rusher, 54 for Arizona, they got to be talking. We're both taking off at the snap. If he blocks you, I'm gone, you cover him, and vice versa. But you can't, you're not going to get home. You watch this, he's going to end up being free, but he can't get home because he's blitzing from 6 yards off.
The play clock, too, though. I mean, it's
No, you can time that up. They're trying to disguise.
The new CBS play clock, that one that counts down, pretty cool. It's like an hourglass type thing.
Really?
I don't love what CBS does with the target landing zone because it's full color.
Yeah, yeah.
It makes it hard to see the ball.
Just need a box.
Yes.
Just need the
The
outline
other
of the
networks
box.
only did the box.
So we'll see how that changes throughout the year. But okay, so let's go. Are we waffling? Are you're Buffalo all of a sudden again after seeing what a rip there, then a rip shirt from Hollins on that touchdown, cover 0. How do you feel?
I'm taking Buffalo. I've never wavered. I've never waffled.
You did
I
last
felt
year.
that way flying.
A couple times.
Last year you wavered and waffled a couple times, remember?
Yeah, and I caught a lot of shit
Miss
for
Tina,
that,
yeah.
right? So I'm not waffling. And we've done our research. I look at the record. I look at what this guy's done down there. Dew point or not, I don't care. Rain, I don't care. I'm getting the 2.5 points. I'm taking Buffalo in the points. They haven't beat them.
Okay.
AJ, it is now your turn to make a pick. And I will tell you this, Chuck. It was a very interesting turn of events for you to send in those clips of Miami Dolphins doing awesome.
Yeah.
And then going the other.
Can I say one more thing before you keep going?
Absolutely.
Yep.
Who knows this team as well as anybody? This is a division game, right?
Mm-hmm.
So McDermott and these guys have played these guys a lot, right?
Mm-hmm.
So they understand, regardless of the new pieces, they still got enough on that defense, Bernard in the middle, that understand the scheme, the checks, the motions, this, that, and the other, and what they're trying to get done. So I'm not worried about McDermott and Babich and those guys being fooled by anything. They're not going to come up with anything new in 3 days on a short week. The Dolphins, they run what they run. So it's not going to be, a schematic deal. They got Rousseau, all right. They got Vaughn got a damn sack. Von Miller's back.
Hell yeah, he is.
Okay.
Told me that at Texas A&M.
Shit,
Feels
yeah.
good, feels healthy.
You got Epinesa, you got Rousseau, you got Ed Oliver in the middle. They got enough.
Nothing on the back end.
Okay.
Nothing.
Taylor Rapp will rip your face off.
Yeah, he will.
Taron Johnson's out. No Micah Hyde. No Jordan Poyer.
Jordan's actually on the other team.
Yeah.
Trey White.
Hamlin starting.
DeMar, hey, what a story.
Awesome.
Congrats to DeMar. I saw the internet having their jokes. Whatever the case, that dude being a starter for the Buffalo Bills, he's a yinzer. What a fucking, hey, let's go, DeMar.
Unreal.
I love that. Think about the mental.
From dead to starter?
Yes, exactly. The mental part of it all, let alone the physical aspect of getting back into the shape that you were in before your body stopped actually stopped for a while, and then being able to still be NFL caliber and then starting again. Come on, especially with everything that was being said last year as he was trying to get back into this. It's like that's a pretty sweet situation. Now tonight, and against any Dolphins team, any opponent, do you want to be playing safety for them? I don't know. I don't know if that's the spot you want to be. AJ, how do you feel about this evening? What's your official pick?
Well, yeah, heading into this, I was leaning Buffalo for sure. Chuck kind of threw me off for a bit showing all those Miami highlights. I realized how tough it might be to stop this Miami offense, but I'm sticking with my initial thoughts, my instinct. I'm taking Buffalo with the minus 2.5. Or plus 2.5, sorry.
Yeah,
plus 2.5.
Yeah, if you want a minus 2.5, then we can certainly do that.
You gave me plus 2.5.
Okay, you can get plus 2.5.
I would have taken him at minus 2.5 most likely as well.
There's no rest before any of the game tonight. There's no distractions for this Miami team.
And hey, think about it too, Pat. Highly motivated. Buffalo, great flight home, little miniature bye weekend as well.
Oh my God, I didn't even think about the life that you could live if you win on a Thursday night on the road. You get that time to fly back with the boys whenever it's like, okay, let's have a good one. Who knows? Might have a family weekend coming up. Might travel to the U.S. Open. Patrick Mahomes, Travis Kelce. You might do any of that. But you got the whole team here on this trip back to Buffalo. And Miami's way down there.
It's a far flight.
It is way down there. People forget it is a long trip down to Miami. Dew Point's high this early. Fresh out of summer might feel good actually. Get down there in that dew point, even though later in the season it's quite a vastly different situation. Gumpy, you like the Dolphins a lot, huh?
Love the Dolphins tonight. Just feels like the last time Josh Allen came to Miami this early in the season, they ran out of gas. It was the exact same time.
It's a different Josh Allen, though. This is a different Josh Allen. This is like, oh, buddy.
It's so tough too, because like Gumpy's biggest worry is the not having Wilkins, and like this Bills team, as we've talked about, isn't the same Bills team. Like they're
not scared to use a little ram power.
They run the ball.
They'll do a little ram and let James cook. Back in Miami.
Yeah, but those stats, the tail of the tape that we showed with Tua and Josh Allen, those are also skewed because we're talking about new teams. Like Gumpy said, this is not the secondary that Tua's gone up against.
Josh Allen also cooked Brian Flores every time they played. Every time.
Also, another angle, Josh Allen and Jalen Ramsey, as we know from Jalen Ramsey's time with the Rams, they have beef. Josh Allen hates Jalen.
Yeah, Jalen has said.
He attacked him, smoked him over the top.
Yeah. So give me the Bills. Give me the Bills.
Oh,
all right, Bill is plus 2.5 there. Even though this is a different Jalen Ramsey too. You hear what Kirk said? They're going to let him eat. I love that. I love that for the NFL season. If we're allowed to just watch Jalen Ramsey, that dude can actually fly.
Yeah,
he has such a large wingspan. He'll jump, and it looks like he's actually what are those squirrels?
Flying squirrels.
That's what he looks
Flying
like when
squirrel.
he's flying through the air, breaking up. That's like peak Jalen Ramsey content. Feels like there's going to be a lot of that. He tracks that dude down last week.
Think about.
Wait a minute, maybe I'm back on the Dolphins.
Well, I got another thing for you, because think about what Mike McDaniel said when we interviewed him. Like, hey, when you look back at the end of the season and you're talking about why we weren't playing in Miami,
it's because home field advantage.
Because we didn't have any games at home. So when you're talking about that message in the offseason, this is the first one that is kind of relevant
Chuck
to that
doesn't
message.
lose. Pagano.
He actually does. He lost 4 times.
320, 4 tuds, 359, 2 tuds, 400, 2 tuds, 304, 4 tuds.
Yeah, that's Josh
What's that?
Allen.
That's Josh Allen last 4 games against the Finns.
New DC.
And all they've been what have they been talking about in Miami for the last since the unfortunate incident that happened before last week's game against Jacksonville? They haven't talked one bit about Buffalo. Not one bit. It's just been about.
Oh my God, I didn't even think about that. All right, give me Buffalo plus 2.5. Sure, they'll be. I like the Dolphins.
Sure.
Because you got
that
time.
could be a motivator. That could be a unifier.
Hey, Pat,
there's so many different ways to take these things.
Pat, when you think about that, guys, that happens like that, and all of a sudden you really don't have time to process that whole deal, and it's like, oh, these right then and there are galvanized, right? You're down 14 that first half, so it was still in the back of your mind, but it galvanized them. Great comeback, end up winning that thing late field goal, and now you've had time
to think about everything. 4
to go through.
4
Hey,
days.
it takes shit out of you.
And are the Buffalo Bills thinking about anything like? Oh, I'll take the Bills plus 2.5. Who are you picking?
I'm taking Miami.
Minus 2.5. Yeah, I saw you and Gumpy talking.
Well, no, we were
I
just
saw you
talking
and
about,
Gumpy talking over here.
We were just talking about bets. I just think, of course, Josh obviously is the best player between these two teams, but I just think Miami's just got more skill across the board. Defense, offense, special teams.
I never say this. I'm not going to do now.
Well, maybe.
Think about what I was about to say there. I was about to say, what's the YouTube chat say? What's a YouTube chat say?
I mean, let's check in.
I've never said that in my life.
Let's tap in.
Think about it.
But I actually thought, there's people commenting right now. What is the active comment that is happening through most people? Because I'm very torn right now.
I mean, look at the plays that we showed, okay?
It's unguardable.
It was Miami being unguardable, and Pat Surtain was on one of those teams. The Bills do not have anyone close to Pat Surtain in this secondary. And Taron Johnson's their best one, and he's out. He's the one they paid this offseason, actually, from the secondary.
We really fix it. Thank you, Speed Killers. If it's a tie, Bills cover. Pretty simple.
That's a good call.
If it's a tie, the Bills cover. Pretty simple.
That's true. Could be a tie.
Then think about that. Good to know, Chuck. Bills Mafia for life. Yes, listen to us. Okay, we'll give an answer.
Yeah, you fool.
What if it's a tie?
That's why you don't go.
All right.
Tie.
All right, we're done.
Yeah.
I tried, though.
That's why you don't ask.
A lot of Finns. Don't ask us.
To be
Email
completely
mine.
transparent, I don't know much about the YouTube chat. I had a strict rule early in this game. Not going to even. Can't even.
No point.
Okay. I do appreciate how active they are. I know Bill lives in there.
Yeah.
I do appreciate I
tells you
get no updates. I know nothing about it, but I do appreciate how active people are. I do wish they would have given me an answer there. You know, I wish I would have got an answer there. Give me the Miami Dolphins, -2.5.
Wow.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
All right.
Come on.
Let's get the hell out of here, shall we? On the way out, Chuck, do you want to win some money for some people?
Sure.
Okay. Last week didn't work out.
Yeah, come on. And yesterday either.
Things have not gone well
That's a shame.
with the giveaway. Tone, it might be a condescending attitude.
I said it was a shame.
Okay. Could be. Chuck Pagano, you're going to throw a football. Which hoop are you looking to throw it into, or maybe throwing in this hoop?
All right.
Okay.
Attaboy.
We're changing strategy.
I like that.
Did you practice this morning? Did you get some warm-ups in or no? You did.
Saw him dancing on the stage
Oh, he was happy you made a couple.
during the music.
Wait a minute. Okay, so we know that it's possible now. That's good news. It's like when you go to a state fair and the local carny kind of demonstrates how it's done. And then can you do it? Probably not, but possibly today. If Chuck can make that football into that hoop right over there, 25 people, $500. All we have to do is repost this video, say something nice to somebody, and
Oh, good line.
Good start.
Right at it, Chuck. I love the aggressiveness.
ladies and gentlemen, Chuck Pagano picked the Buffalo Bills +2.5 this evening down in Miami on Thursday Night Football. And if he can chuck that football into that hoop right over there, 25 people win $500. All you got to do is repost this video, say something nice to somebody, and put the easiest way to pay you 25 people win $500 because Chuck Pagano can spin that thing. Feels like the football gods say, Buffalo Bills +2.5. That is who I am taking. Because Chuck Pagano just made that throw. That is 100% on the universe ball. Thank you so much for allowing us to do this for a living. You're the greatest people on earth. That's AJ Hawk. Chuck Pagano's here. The boys are here. Pizza Hut, we appreciate the hell out of you.
Love you, Hut.
It is great to have Pizza Hut a part of the program. My Hut box available now, limited time only. Make sure you go make it happen. No one out pizzas the Hut, and that is a matter of fact. Also, the wings,
solid, delectable,
so good.
Oh yeah,
good amount of meat on them.
Great amount of meat.
You know, easily in the flavors and the cook.
I have to eat 20 of them.
Yeah, matter of moments here.
Smell it.
It is here.
Yeah.
Shout out to Ram Trucks.
What?
Shout out.
Can't wait for the announcement next week. I think people are going to enjoy it. Pretty big giveaway. I think people will certainly be pumped up about it. That is a cool thing. And as we roll into tomorrow, we can't thank you enough to football. Thank you for existing. Thank you for Thursday Night Football tonight. Thank you for week 3 of the college football season. Can't wait to be down in South Carolina tomorrow morning. Hope we're able to
get in there.
You'll be able to, right? Francine got downgraded.
Yeah, that's the thing about Francine. She was getting, she was more tired than, I'm not going to. All right. I'm not saying it. That's there forever for everything. And we're going to try not to do it because obviously it was an accident. All right. Be a friend, tell a friend something nice. It might change their life. We're in this thing together. Let's never forget it. Football kicks off tonight for another epic weekend. Team on me. Team on 3. 1, 2, 3. Team. Goodbye.